Welcome to the exciting world of the movies.
Hello, 90s retro movie lovers. We have a real treat for you today, don't we, Zach?
We fucking do, baby. Tell them.
That's right. We are delving deep into the Danny DeVito Kino vault with 1996's Matilda, the Roald Dahl classic story.
Fucking Roe Doll. I want to hang out with Roe. I want to fucking party with Roe and be like, man, that fucking Matilda shit, that shit, well, I'm gonna give you. The thing is, I see that you basically asked Stephen King if you could look at his homework and basically change it just a little bit. But fucking, I'm just joking. I know that motherfucker was dead before Stephen King. It's all good though.
It's all right. Like a lot of people don't know this, but Roald Dahl went to elementary school with Stan Lee in the early 1900s, and the X-Men, all that Marvel Universe shit, totally ripped off of Matilda.
Fucking King, Roe. I fucks with Roe.
I'm a Roe stan.
He was the Roe in Roe versus Wade, actually. Fucking they overturned that shit. We got to get it back.
We got to get rolled back.
We do.
We need rolled back in the culture of America, and we need them back in the abortion clinics as well.
Hell yeah, Chad fucking King. But we mentioned, I alluded to, like, yeah, this is the plot of this is a lot like a fucking Stephen King classic, Carrie, but she doesn't like literally kill people. It's more of a kid friendly version.
Yeah, she could though. I mean, we'll get to it later because that Carrie twist, I gotta admit, I never saw that shit coming. But I mean, it was headed there for a minute, I feel like. But yeah,
there is a bunch of people who talk about how, like, no, this movie isn't any more lighthearted than Carrie. I've heard people make the claim and the case that this movie is way too mean-spirited to show to kids. Like, Danny DeVito is irresponsible almost, or something.
Oh, come on. He adapted the classic literature into the Kino that you could watch. Like, we'll get to it when he says it, but like he tells it because he plays the abusive dad and the thing. He says, why would you ever read anything in a book when you can just watch TV? And that's what he did. Like Roe, as much as we love him, we threw his books in the trash as soon as this movie came out because now we got the movie.
We did fucking, and it's starring fucking one of the greatest Kino fucking offspring, basically, to one of the greatest Kino fucking entrepreneurs of our time. Fucking Ben Shapiro's cousin is in this movie.
Yeah.
Fucking Mira Wilson. Fucking amazing.
So now we definitely know what side of the family got all the talent.
Exactly, we do. Fucking, he's joining Hollywood. He's writing movies. Fucking Die Hard in a school and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking, well, we got to do that movie. We should probably tell
see
where
that
we're at in the
movie,
movie.
but I went to Ben's website. There was like no 7-day free trial, no nothing. It was just like you pay $15 and we have 2 movies you can watch, and the rest are all news reports. I'm like, $15 for 2 movies and news reports.
Fucking, they are getting marketed the fuck out of Facebook. I am seeing nothing but fucking Ben Shapiro posts on advertising. Fucking, but it's just because, like, his fucking cousin was in one of the greatest films ever made.
Well, his cousin got all the acting talent, and then he got the talent to talk fast enough to take over for the new age modern machine. What was it, Micro Machines commercials?
Exactly.
When they relaunched them, they got to call him up to talk fast and convince you to buy little tiny plastic cars. But anyway, that's neither.
I was just gonna mention his sister got more talent than him too.
Oh yes, his sister. What was that one meme we saw about the sister? Voice of an angel.
Big Stacy. What a big Stacy. Oh,
so
man.
yeah, so we're going to get rolling. I got the DVD. Zach has the Blu-ray. It seems like they both start out with the TriStar logo.
Oh, yes.
And at the bottom, like, a little horse comes out or grows wings, whatever he does. But we got to pause at the part where it says TriStar, and underneath it says a Sony Pictures Entertainment Company. That's that 17 seconds mark on the DVD. It's probably something similar on the Blu-ray. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, go, and when you hear me say the word go. We are 130 episodes deep into the show now, Zach, so I think they know what to do when I say go, don't you think?
I think they do.
All right, everybody, grab your remote. 1, 2, 3, go. And now we are watching Matilda.
Oh man, I forgot to turn the volume down as soon as I pressed play. I just
You blew yourself. What I
the
want to know is how much did they spend on these opening credit sequence?
fucking I love these opening credits. Like, don't you shame this movie for the greatness that is these childlike drawings of the opening credit. Fucking what was a movie that did that too? Was it Jack?
Yeah, like I was thinking about that, but you know where actually both of them got it from? It's actually a homage to the credits from A Clockwork Orange.
Fucking Kino. There's so much Kino already, and we're only fucking seconds in.
So right off the bat, we just see the baby Matilda in the maternity ward, and we see Danny DeVito as the evil father of the family. But like this is like a whole nother. I feel like DeVito with his Kino is playing 4D chess with us. Because while he's playing the abusive father in the movie, he's also narrating the movie as the gentle narrator voice. Mm-hmm. Like, that was a pretty odd choice, don't you think? He adapted the screenplay, he directed it, he co-starred in it, and he wanted to do the voiceover, even though he's actually in the movie as a different character.
As a kid, I remember, like, I knew who Danny DeVito was, fucking, when this movie was coming out. I knew, like, I wasn't a huge fan or anything, but it's like, oh, I know him from movies. He's in a lot of movies I like. So, like, fucking, when I'm watching it, I noticed that, and it was like, fucking, that has to be kind of a way to, because the movie it gets so dark in a way, but, like, in a way, it's almost like he wanted to keep it lighthearted enough to like fucking break the fourth wall a little bit or something, maybe. But I never know. Fucking, I never heard him mention why he did that or whatever.
It's so dark. Like it starts out like they got Matilda in the, what do you call it, the car seat, whatever, in the back of the car. Like it's just a station wagon. She's like, he's going over every bump. He's taking every corner hard. The baby's just flying around the back. And then they just leave her. When they get home, she's newborn from the hospital. They just leave her like in the hot ass car like a dog. No, I thought this was cool. Like at first I thought maybe now they show her as a baby. They show how smart she is. She does a bunch of diarrhea on the kitchen countertop, and then she writes her name in it. I thought that was good.
She literally shat all over the. See, they want us to think that was mashed peas she was writing in, but he's right. No. She just shat all over there.
I mean, when the whole like puddle she was sitting in, it was all coming right out of the side of a diaper.
Matilda isn't that smart at all. She's fucking stupid. She's literally shitting on the counter, writing her name in it. What a fucking idiot.
Did you notice when they show her finishing the A in her name, it was like that stiff little doll hand came down to do it? I love that.
I love this fucking movie. For some reason, yeah, I was telling my boy here to go that fucking. I remember when this movie came out as a kid, everybody fucking loved this movie. Like, I don't think I knew anybody that was like, I hate Matilda. Like, I don't think I've ever met anybody like that.
Yeah, I never hated it or anything, but I've never seen it till this week, and I gotta say, like, it's I've been missing out the last 25 years, however old it is.
I remember my boy Aaron from fucking BTM. He'd never seen it too, and he watched it. And he was like, "Yeah, it was good. It was good. It works as a kids movie." Okay. But yeah, I should mention fucking. I have heard that this movie is too dark for kids. Basically, I've only heard that from the Nostalgia Critic, and he's very low T.
He's very low T. I mean, he'll tell you Winnie the Pooh is too dark.
Exactly. Tall, dark, and handsome. Winnie the Pooh. Big Chad cock on that one. On that lad.
No, there's like 8 different kids that play Matilda in like kind of the opening prologue here, and I thought they were all pretty good.
Exactly.
And they all kind of look like each other, which is good too.
There's so many scenes in this movie. But like, yeah, we're already seeing like fucking Matilda. She basically... because her parents just like basically she's a mistake. She was a mistake, and they look at her like a mistake. It's like we have one kid and then one mistake, Matilda, and it's just like fucking. Yeah, I noticed that while watching it. Like it does. It gets a little dark, and it's like fucking we're seeing Matilda basically cooking for herself, making her own pancakes and shit. And she's already like fucking. And then like she gets into reading and shit. Fucking. It's a wholesome film. It's a wholesome film. I don't know a soul that hates this movie. Fucking besides the Nostalgia Critic. Now that I think about it.
Nostalgia. Well, Nostalgia Critic probably hates it because, like, if you're too lazy to go to work and do a regular job like we do. See, we just do regular boring ass jobs, right? And we're bored at our jobs, aren't we, Zach?
Exactly.
But then the bonus, right, Zach, is we get to come home and enjoy our movies. Nostalgia Critic, he don't want to work at a 9 to 5, so he got to watch like 30 shitty movies a week, and then do like 45-minute essays on them on YouTube. So he like, because he watches so many shitty movies, then he gets so like jilted, he don't even like the good movies anymore.
Wouldn't that be funny if plot twist, he's not even a real like nostalgic like critic, really? He never even watched these movies growing up. He just like found out people have nostalgia for them and watched them one weekend and made a video. Wouldn't that like...
That's what I thought the premise of his shit was. Like, I never thought he was doing like the things he grew up on or whatever.
It's
like
completely possible.
Because if you were talking about like the shit you grew up on and loved as a kid, would you really sit there and be doing a video going, and actually, when they came in here and they did this...
It's too mean for kids. It's too mean for... I don't... Like, I agree it gets dark, but I think it's done in a, like, lighthearted enough way. Like, we'll talk about, like, the Trenchable fucking... Even though she's, like, bad, and, like, there are parts where, like, she literally picks up a girl and throws her, like, a fence.
She murders a kid, yeah.
And she misses it and then like flies through some flowers. So it's like just by like happenstance she happens to be incompetent at killing them. Basically, is the only reason she does it.
Like these whatever softy motherfuckers now. This is too dark. Like there's a reason why they made this movie in 1996, Zach. We were in the wake of the Tim Burton era. So you were allowed to do dark shit and have it be PG, PG-13, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it was okay to do it all dark. Yeah, Matilda went to the library and read all their books, and now, like, we finally get her in her final form. She's 6 years old. This is the final actress that will play Matilda.
Throughout the film, fucking cousin of one Sir Shapiro. The Duke of Shapiro, if you will. Yeah. Isn't that funny that like fucking to some people Shapiro is like fucking huge? Like he's got one of the number one pocket, but to me it's just like fucking Mara Wilson, fucking his cousin. That's where it's at.
Everybody loves Mara Wilson.
Exactly.
The ironic thing, if at this time period, if this story was happening, you know, the time period that this movie came out, she would be all reading in those books about Senator Joseph R. Biden right there.
Exactly. Fucking all the jokes we can make it with the fucking. You think anybody? Sometimes I wonder, like, do people like listen to this in a vacuum and they're just like, who the fuck is Ben Shapiro?
I mean, I'm sure somebody is, because I mean, it's a movie show. It ain't a YouTube politics show like everybody else did. Which, by the way, you've done I would say, like, honestly, even though I've probably been podcasting like more years than you've done like a billion more episodes than me. Like, anytime you've ever done an episode where real world politics came up, did it ever end in anything good?
Fucking never, ever.
But everybody on YouTube talks about shit all the time.
Yeah, apparently, like, they say if you don't get paid to fucking talk about politics, you shouldn't fucking read about it or talk about it because it isn't good for your mental health.
No, it's not. Yeah, I like this part. She cries into the book because her brother was throwing marshmallows at her.
Mm-hmm. Fucking, what was it he was calling her? Dip face.
Yeah, I thought he was saying dick face.
I did too, but I saw it on here. He's calling her dip face, and I'm like, is that a reference to that Rowdy Roddy Piper line from fucking They Live?
Probably.
Fucking, I can't imagine. Like, we know Kino Files are making these movies. Fucking the fucking the offspring of fucking Sir Shapiro, fucking Chad. But like, fucking, we'll never know unless we listen to the official audio comment. See, that's what sucks about them putting out the Blu-ray, and I'm watching it right now. It looks very nice, but they could have put our commentary if they only would have waited a little bit longer.
If they only would have waited like 12 years, yeah, they could have had our commentary. Exactly. By the way, we're like, what are we, like 14 minutes in the commentary? We didn't even mention that Danny DeVito's real life sexy ass wife, Rhea Perlman's playing the wife in this as well.
Exactly. Fucking, they were working together for a while. Are they still together? I remember they got a divorce and then they got back together.
Really?
And then,
I never knew that. I always thought they were together.
Fucking, for a while. I remember seeing E! True Hollywood Story or something. Something.
Must have been a long time ago. But did you notice too, like something you never see in kids' movies now? Like they're always drinking. Like he drinks Budweiser, she drinks Bud Light.
I didn't notice because I'm just so used to it. But here they probably needed it because it was like fucking we're letting them know that maybe see they're getting us subtle hints like fucking they're bad parents, but like fucking maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe there's just something we don't get about them, and it does. It makes it very clear that Matilda is kind of like a kid. What's that called? Like a child savant, where they're just like
idiot savant.
They fucking. Sometimes it is like a thing where like kids come out and it's just like, how do they know that? Like they just know shit that's kind of out of their league, but fucking. It's probably because they're reading at an earlier age and fucking pretty much stuff like this. So basically, all the adults around Matilda are totally fucking dumb. And I always remember like there's like 3 scenes in the movie where somebody older than her tells her like fucking. Like her dad right there, he's like fucking he's telling her something's wrong. She's like, fuck, why? He's like, fuck, and she's just like, fucking, because I'm big, you're little, I'm smart, you're dumb, I'm right, you're wrong. Fucking, I remember fucking lines like that from seared into my brain. That was like fucking shit you said on the playground if you wanted to get the pussy, basically.
Ugh.
Like, fuck. You wanted all the chicks to know that you were down with Matilda. You watched that shit. Fucking, like, we can go over to my place right now. Fucking, pull it out of the fucking little cupboard we
VCR,
got. Yeah, shit. Fucking put that in. Fucking just hang out.
So you had me interested. I just did some research. Like they did divorce and get back together, or I guess they separated and got back together, and then they haven't lived together in several years. But she says she's never divorcing Danny DeVito.
Fucking king. I wouldn't either. I would. You can't let him get away. What a Chad.
That's the best kind of marriage when you live by yourself, but you're still married.
He must have the dankest fucking dick.
Oh, well, you know it's got to be as thick as a fire hose.
His dick runs deep, so deep, put her ass to sleep. Fucking that Ice Cube line.
That's
Big
what
Chad.
that Ice Cube line is what you want to be hearing on the Matilda commentary. But yeah, I like this part where Matilda's had enough of their shit, so she puts the mom's peroxide bleach in his hair tonic.
Yeah, they basically we find out throughout the movie that Matilda has fucking basically like kinetic type powers, type beat, and she can fucking. We don't find that out yet. First, she's just fucking.
Super intelligence is his power at first.
Exactly. Danny DeVito fucked up and done told her that like fucking. You know, sometimes people gotta be punished. So she thought like, oh, I guess I can punish my parents because basically Danny DeVito and he's a used car salesman and he's very sleazy, very sleazy.
Yeah, he sells people broken cars for like a big markup.
Chad, what a king.
Yeah.
What a fucking king. See, she's being all woke and shit, trying to moralize to us that that's wrong. Fucking woke Hollywood coming and trying to tell us the fucking selling people shit that you put together with super glue is wrong. That's fucking stupid. We all know we get fucking paid, get money. Chad.
Do you remember a couple years ago where Danny DeVito he drank like till like 4 a.m. drinking limoncellos, and he showed up at like 8 o'clock in the morning to do some radio show or something, all drunk.
That's the kind of shit you want to know about Danny DeVito. That's the kind of friend you're gonna have if you hang out with him. What a king!
And he totally admitted. I think he said he was out drinking all night with George Clooney. I swear.
King. But yeah, I'm sorry. I talked over. You were trying to explain that she got her dad. She fucking put peroxide in his hair shit.
His hair tonic, because he takes great pride in his hair, which his hair looks really good in this movie, by the way. But yeah, she turned it like all like shitty orange. Now here are the two real Chads is the CIA men who are on the trail of Danny DeVito, because Danny DeVito buys a lot of stolen car parts, played by the great Tracy Walter, who you might remember from Repo Man. He was the guy who said, sometimes you're just thinking about shrimp, and then somebody says plate or plate of shrimp. We don't know how the universe really works, but it all comes together. And then he also had the famous line. Do you know his super famous line from Repo Man, Zach?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, they're standing around, and he says, John Wayne was a fag.
King.
And everybody wants to beat the shit out of him for saying it. But yeah, he said that. And then, of course, the other CIA guy on Hot on the Trail is none other than you know who.
Fucking, who was that? Paul Rubens, baby.
Pee Wee Herman, baby.
Fucking, exactly. He's not even credited as Pee Wee Herman. He's a fraud. No. He was faking it.
If only we had Mac here to do the Pee Wee Herman laugh.
Hell yes. See, look, I love this where he's being overly comical about how fucking much of a piece of shit he is.
Yeah, like, he says he put sawdust in the engines because it quiets the gears so you can drive it for 2 miles before the engine blows up.
Amazing. Fucking, he really doesn't give a fuck.
And he puts the bumpers back on the car with super glue.
Isn't that fucking Chad too? Like fucking having no morals. It's so cool. I always wanted. I wish I could be like that.
I love this part too because we forgot to say like my favorite type of child actors, Zach, are the ones that are like real young, real little, but they got old people's voices. And Mara Wilson kind of has a raspy old woman's voice. I love that part where she goes, "Daddy, you're a crook."
King, my computer, something weird is happening, but
You're going off in the other world, baby. You're not seeing this dank super glue shenanigans. Yeah, here Rhea Perlman, the mom comes along. She won some money in she's like a professional bingo player. She won some money. She got a nice car now. But it's like actually nice, not like one of the jalopies. Blonde DeVito, Danny DeVito, Mr. Kino with the blonde ambition. You ain't missing. Zach, he's not allowed to watch Matilda anymore because his computer is malfunctioning. Junction. And here we had another little prank. Not only has she ruined DeVito's hair by turning it blonde, but she then put super glue all over the rim of his hat, so when he put it on, it's going to be stuck on his head here when he goes into the fancy restaurant. Were you ever able to make your way back, Zach? I'm just rhyming up a storm here. We should have technical difficulties more often. I might be able to get a rap career out of it. Speaking of rapping, since I'm talking to myself here, we got to talk about the fact that I guess the elephant in the room, and it bared no decision on us picking this movie to do it or whatever, but just out of the blue, also coming this year is a Netflix adaptation of this, and they can't just adapt the book into a movie or TV show. They got to turn it into just from Matilda to Roald Dahl's Matilda the musical. So Netflix is going to turn it into a child's musical. I bet it's going to be awful. Am I really just doing a show by myself now? Like, what's going on? Anyway, let's talk about it. So here we have like some really silly hijinks in this restaurant. Like they're trying to get the hat off DeVito's head, and he ends up knocking everything over, and everybody gets splatted in the face with pies, pretty much. Rhea Perlman has to cut the hat off his head. All right, and we are back. We got disconnected. Maybe you'll take the time to listen to it when it comes out, Zach, but you just missed out on the worst 20 or 30 seconds in podcast history.
Fucking I heard it. I heard every minute. It was amazing.
I started talking in rhymes. It was
fucking my computer just decided to take a shit. It was just like fucking there's too much shit happening. There's a movie playing. There's two guys talking, being Chad. Fucking Mara Wilson is just out fucking shining her uncle at such a early age that I just have to die. I have to fucking kill myself. We're all back now.
Your computer said Chad overload and it crashed. I thought this was weird. John Lovitz made a cameo on this like fake TV show for like 1 second. Like he literally did like 1 hour of work on this movie.
Threw
some money at the camera.
Literally, his line is, "It's time to get sticky with Mickey."
Get sticky with Mickey.
Well, basically, it is a show that in the universe of the movie, basically they're trying to let us know how much better, how much smarter Matilda is already than her parents. And they're like, why the hell are you reading when there's a TV right in front of you? And they're watching Get Sticky with Mickey, which is a game show where they put people, they get contestants from the audience to come up, and they get in like a little, like it looks like a popcorn machine basically, and it just blows money, but they put sticky shit on you, and like I guess how much money sticks to you, you get to keep. Was that ever a real show?
I don't know. I don't think so. I've seen shit at the mall like that where like it blows around and you just have to try to grab it with your hands. But like I've never seen like this where they cover you with like honey and horse cum and the money's supposed to stick to you.
Cover you in cane.
Yeah.
Cover you in cane.
And it's so abusive too because Danny DeVito's like holding her head like straight so she has to look at the TV and like watch this stick to her. This is very base though because he's just basically telling you that American TV is designed to make you stupid.
Hell yes, Big Chad. Basically, this is when Matilda, for the first time, finds out that, like, yeah, she has some power here, where she's being forced to watch it. She just hates it so much that fucking it just explodes the TV. It just explodes.
Yeah.
The sound she makes when it explodes too, very Stacy.
I gotta say too, because obviously I haven't seen this movie before the other day, and I wasn't familiar with the book. I thought it was going to be one of those things where like it just happened that the TV blew up, and then she thought she had powers. You know what I mean? Like I had no idea that she was really going to be like Carrie. You know what I mean?
Fucking hell yeah, that would have been funny too. Like a twist of fate, like. An alternate reality where that's the fucking third act of the movie. She finds out she never had powers. Mm-hmm. And then fucking the Trenchable just literally puts her in the chokey and fucking kills her.
We're not even to the chokey yet.
Exactly. We're not to the chokey yet. Let's go ahead and talk about the fact that, like, if you're a kid, you get thrown in the chokey. It's in there. You're in there. It's dark. No one else is there. You're probably gonna jack off, right?
Well, I was gonna say like Clive Barker, he wrote a side story about the chokey that tied into Roald Dahl's Matilda, and it turns out the chokey is actually a masturbation chamber built by Pinhead from Hellraiser.
Fucking I couldn't hope for anything less.
Yeah.
It almost looked like there's a cum shot fucking on DeVito's head there in the silhouette.
It does.
When you see the streaks coming down.
Which like.
This was an old cum, like fucking an old place where like the Jizmoffer he didn't come in after that. They tore it down and built a used car dealership over it.
Yeah.
But this is funny too. Basically, Matilda ends up in this shitty school. This is like a terrible school with a terrible fucking principal, and it's all because of Danny DeVito. Fucking he sells. The Trenchable, fucking, she's the big baddie character basically, and basically she's a place to put any kid, like basically any bully or something you had in childhood, basically, fucking just fits over the Trenchable.
No, when I was like, whenever this came out in theaters or whatever, which do you remember like this coming out, or was you like a baby or something when this movie came out?
Fucking, I do remember this movie coming out. I wanted to watch it, but like I don't think it came close to me. Fucking, it was back then where it was like I didn't even know that you could like leave your little tiny town to go watch movies. Fucking, it blew my mind.
Well, like we had some weird shit where I grew up in Cincinnati. There was two different movie chains. One was called Lowe's, and another one was called National Amusements. And like now, like every city I've ever lived in since then, like if there's I don't know, Spider-Man or something, like it plays at every single theater. But when I was growing up, because there was like some kind of weird business thing where like they had to like bid on the movies, and like so like. One chain could only have Batman, and then one chain could only have Ninja Turtles. It was like really weird. Yeah. So it's like, yeah. So like but the good thing with that, it kind of created, even though I didn't live in like the biggest city. I mean, Cincinnati's a pretty major city, but it's not a huge city. Is like in order to fill up the rest of the screens, like they had to play like a lot of weird cheap movies. So I got to see like a lot of really goofy shit growing up as a kid. But that's off the topic. What I was going to say is when I remember this like coming out. I was like, this came out like right after I graduated high school. I was probably like 18 or 19 when this came out. And I remember the trailer, and I always like, I was so confused when I started watching this movie the other night because like for some reason, it was just kind of my blurry memory. Is I thought all these kids were like in an orphanage. I thought this was about an orphan, and I thought Matilda was like an orphan in like an evil ass orphanage. You know what I mean?
It could have been like just a couple little rewrites.
Yeah.
But yeah, see, very cartoony. Fucking the way, the trenches. Basically, she's learning about fucking. One time, fucking the kid Kenny, she caught him eating 2 M&Ms, a red and blue one, fucking, and it shows the way he takes the 2 M&Ms, he puts it in his mouth, and she just comes and squeezes his cheeks until they pop out.
Yeah, the M&Ms pop out.
I always remember that as a kid. Like, fucking, I could, like, there's just something
he
about
took the
it.
red pill and the blue pill at the same time.
pretty much, they're being based and fucking cum-pilled, basically, with their messaging.
Matildapilled, yeah. Trunchbull-pilled here.
I literally, just a couple seconds ago, you were talking, and I went, did you hear me do that?
Yeah.
Could you tell why I did that?
Well, no, it was just the part of the movie where they, like, hid in that little corner or whatever.
No, for me, it was showing Matilda. It was cutting back and forth to her, and I just saw fucking Ben Shapiro wearing a wig.
Now, do you think Ben was jealous at the time? Because I think he's about the same age, about the same age as Mara Wilson. He was probably jealous that, like, because at the time, like, really nobody was wanting 6 or 7 year olds to give them political news breakdowns or whatever. Exactly. He was probably jealous that his cousin or his niece was in a big Hollywood movie, don't you think?
She broke out into movies that she wasn't even fucking trying.
Exactly.
She wasn't even fucking trying. This kid right there, did you ever watch Boy Meets World growing up?
A little bit, yeah.
She reminds me of the kid Minkus from Boy Meets World.
Minkus, yeah.
For some reason, she looks like a girl version of him. It just looks like the same face with pigtails on.
No, it does. This is the part where she picks the little girl up by her pigtails and flies her and she almost lands on some spikes. She almost gets impaled, but she lands into a flower bed.
How goofy this is!
It's so bizarre. You know what I like about DeVito Kino is when he does like a goofy ass scene like this. Like, and this will come up later. All his goofy scenes, they're not like just some 90-second bullshit. They all go on for 10, 15, 20 minutes.
Something very whimsical and like like a child's understanding of a situation going on is how he shoots it almost.
I like the little girl that's her friend that has like the froggy voice from like Little Rascals. She's like,
exactly. Fucking Big Stacy. I was hesitant to call her Stacy because it's like, that's a kid, but it's like fucking, they could be named Stacy too. I didn't mean it in like a fucking any weird way like that.
Yeah. That was the one thing I was going to ask you, because I mean I was a young adult, but still an adult when this came out, and that's the whole reason why I'd never seen this movie till now. But like when you saw this, obviously you were way younger than me. So like, were you like young enough in age to where like you had a crush on Matilda when you watched the movie?
Fucking probably when I first.
That's probably your original reason why you wanted to watch the movie.
I think the thing is though is once you see Miss Honey, it's like fucking baby.
I know.
I'm tired of Matilda. I'm ready to get with a real woman.
Yeah, Miss Honey is their teacher, played by M. Beth Davids, who I forgot to look this up. I want to say she got kind of like her big break in Schindler's List, but I'm pretty sure too she was like the goofy whatever love interest in an Army of Darkness. Am I right about this?
Fucking amazing. I was trying to remember what she's from. Yeah,
and she's super beautiful.
Big fucking Stacy. Big Stacy. I wonder if she even maybe she got out of acting. I remember hearing Mara Wilson. I think she wanted nothing to do with acting once basically she got old enough to like kind of understand like fucking. Oh yeah, I acted because my parents fucking wanted. If I remember right, I could be mixing her up with someone else.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, I think Mara Wilson, retired. But wow, like I'm looking at IMDb.
I think what really happened is basically Ben Shapiro basically fucking caught her by the toe. Basically, fucking was torturing her, tickling her with a feather and shit. Like, you will give up Hollywood.
You will. Don't you know how conservative or how not conservative they are? It's like Sodom and Gomorrah in Hollywood when you make your silly Danny DeVito pictures.
Exactly. The Danny DeVito he's trying to blatantly put the woke agenda in there, make us think that fucking selling used cars shitty is bad. Fucking cucked.
I actually had it backwards. Embeth Davidson was in Army of Darkness, and then after that did Schindler's List. So fucking Steven Spielberg was watching Army of Darkness, going, "Who's this Stacy?"
Fucking king.
Yeah, and then a couple years after that, she did this movie. She's really good, and no big surprise. See a picture of her now, still Stacy.
Big Stacy. Basically, fucking, she's everything that fucking Matilda need. Like, fucking, why couldn't she have been Matilda's mom? Fucking, Matilda's actual parents just fucking want nothing to do with her. Fucking don't understand her. But Mrs. Honey, it's almost like they're kindred spirits. It's almost like they're setting something up or something.
Oh my god, I just found, I don't know why they put this on the pictures for Embeth Davidson on IMDb, but we both got to get this. They've got a DVD box set called the Slumber Party Pack. It's got 2 movies in it, Matilda and Madeline, and it says, includes 2 great movies, plus a box of colored chalk to draw and share with a friend. King.
Fucking normalize bringing that back. Fucking remember back in the day when you'd be watching a show, they just break character and start telling you how to do something at home. Fucking first get your mom's permission to use the scissors, grab a handkerchief, and it's just like fucking we need to bring back that. We need to normalize fucking just like talking to your friends like that in everyday conversation, I think.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I uncovered some groundbreaking trivia too about Ben's cousin. First of all, this is tragic. Mara Wilson's mother died during production of the film. She had thought for years that her mother had never gotten to see the completed film. But years later, Danny DeVito revealed he had shown her a rough cut of what they filmed shortly before she died.
Fucking hell yeah. She saw the fucking assembly cut, the 3-hour-long version.
Oh, that's the version I want to see. And it says, during her teenage years, Mara Wilson was diagnosed with severe OCD and anxiety. She discovered this while reading a book called Kissing Doorknobs, noting the similarities between herself and the lead character. Years later, she found out that book was written by the mother of her co-star, Kira Spencer Hesser, who played Hortensia.
Fucking, that's the thing. Like, fucking, I would have fucking called her immediately. I had no idea your mom liked licking doorknobs. Yeah. Fucking, that is awesome.
That is awesome.
That's a great title for a book. I would give that. Chad. I love that. That's a great touch. The fucking, let's just have the trenchable. Fucking, she goes in. Basically, Miss Honey just found out that like fucking Matilda's like big Stacy. She's all smart and shit. Fucking big brained and shit. And she goes to the trenchable. She's like fucking, I think this girl, she's like cool and shit. Like fucking, she's like smart and shit. And fucking the trenchable's like, fuck that. She's just like fucking. Fuck
She's
her.
like, we gotta put her in advanced classes. She's smart. The principal puts her foot down. Hell no.
She's like, fuck her.
Make her dumb.
There's a funny line there where she's like, she could do she can calculate big giant fucking numbers in her head, and she goes like a calculator.
Yeah,
it's like that's one way to look at it. Yeah,
that's what a dumbass would always say. Big deal, you can do math like a calculator. You always have a like when you're a kid in school and you're like, how come we just can't use a calculator? And they're trying to teach you math, and you're like, oh.
You know what's funny too is we kind of had the last laugh because all the teachers were saying you won't have it. You can't expect that you'll have a calculator on you at all times. What fucking idiots! Fuck
I know. Well, when you're at your job, you won't have a calculator. It's like, come on.
Fucking, we got the phones that not only does it have a calculator, I got the fucking internet. I could literally ask the internet. I could ask Google to solve the problem. That would just take too long.
You could ask Siri. You could ask Google Duchess. You could ask Microsoft Martha. Any virtual whore you wanted to. What time it is and what 3,124 times 496 is, which is the math problem.
We're giving fucking that fucking coward too much fucking notoriety. He is responsible for my computer dying earlier. Fuck him. Fucking Bill Gates, you coward.
He is.
You don't want... Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, we forgot to say that Matilda, her family, their last name was Wormwood. And the name of Danny DeVito's big used car operation is called Wormwood Motors. A lot of people don't know it, but that was the inspiration years later for a horror film called Wormwood, Road of the Dead.
Fucking Kino. So much Kino fucking right. Like, what's he doing there? It almost looks like he's trying to dye it more crazy.
Yeah, I think he's trying to dye it back to being black because he's got that straw ass hair.
Yeah, I guess that is something. Like fucking whenever people dye their hair, the fucking the mixture they put on, it's not how their hair looks. I never realized that because like I never dyed my hair ever, and I kind of missed out on that. I kind of missed out because I don't have much anymore.
Well, if you have dark hair, like, was your hair either brown or black?
Fucking, it was pretty dark brown. Pretty dark brown.
Mine's brown too, and it's just like, yeah, like, you can't really dye your hair or anything.
Exactly.
You gotta bleach it first, which kills it. Like, I had some, like, years ago, like, literally exactly 23 years ago to the day, I had some, like, blonde streaks put in my hair. Like, I had, like, a spike haircut. And, like, that shit was so nice. And I didn't even get it, like, down to the scalp. Like, I told the girl, like, yeah, don't, like, the whatever streaks, don't do it down to... Like, I didn't have them, like, shitty frosted tips. I just had, like, 3 or 4 big patches. Like, I wanted kind of like a punk, like, cheetah, jaguar, whatever, polka dot spot look. And, like, it really looked really cool for a while, but it's just, like, it was summertime, and, like, the heat would heat that shit up, the bleach parts, and it burned, and then big chunks of it were always falling out. It was horrible. And that was only, like, 3 or 4 spots in my hair. Like, I could imagine if you did your whole scalp like that. It was horrible.
I just laughed at the movie there, right, where Mrs. Honey says, fucking, basically, yeah, it kind of it lets you in on the little thing, like fucking, like, basically her parents are like fucking, she comes in, she tells them, like, I think Matilda, she's really smart, she could be, it's kind of funny, it's kind of ridiculous, she could be in college within like 3 years. It's like, that's a little, you probably don't know that yet. But
yeah, she's 6 years old now.
You probably don't know that. You're probably overselling it a little bit, but they say, like, fucking, I didn't go to college. Fucking, and then he kind of shit, and she's like, fucking, don't shit on people that go to college. What if you got sued for a faulty car, and your lawyer would have to, and he's like, who you been talking to? That's so funny.
But we forgot to mention, too, like, because she was 6 years old, and she was, like, super smart from reading all the books she would get from the library, but she wanted to be in school, but they wouldn't let her go to school. They just kept telling her she was actually only 4, even though she knew she was 6. And they tell her, if you go to school, who's going to be here to get these packages all day? We can't have valuable packages sitting on the porch. Look, in 1996, Danny DeVito was foreseeing the porch pirate business that would be happening 30 years later.
King. That's how we... This is one of the most memorable fucking scenes from my childhood, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
The kid eating the cake and Matilda. Fucking... There's so many references, so many jokes throughout things I've done throughout my life. Fucking, you go back and listen to some of the earliest episodes. Fucking, anytime I'm talking about like Andy Milonakis or something, fucking, it's funny that I remember his name because usually it's just like that kid that looks like the kid that ate the cake from Matilda. I remember his name now, but like I love this kid. He's such a fucking king. She says like fucking. She brings him in there. She wants to make an example out of him. She's like, somebody came in and stole my fucking chocolate cake. I wanted that chocolate cake. It was so fucking good. And then she picks him. Get up here. Like, did you eat my chocolate cake? I love the line where he's like, fucking, I don't know. He's just like, I don't know, maybe. I could have. I can't remember a specific cake. And then she goes, it's a really good cake. And he said something like, my mom's is better.
Yeah, my mom's is better.
You fucking idiot. You just gave it away that you ate the cake.
Well, she's so abusive, it don't matter.
Exactly. But she basically does the equivalent to like the parents that used to, like, everybody would talk about these parents, but did they really exist? Like, were there really those parents that, like, I caught little Johnny smoking, and you know what I did? I made him smoke the whole oh, you like cigarettes now? Do those people really exist? I don't know if I've ever met.
They always say they force the kid to smoke a whole pack and the kid throws up. I'm like, you idiot, you just got him addicted more hardcore. Like,
yeah, you got them addicted. Technically, like, fucking, they're gonna be chemically addicted, even if they didn't like it at that point.
Did you see the trivia for this scene? It says the scene where Bruce Bogtrotter is forced to eat chocolate cake took so long to film that the call sheet had an infinity symbol written on the start and end times. So if they held up to that end of the bargain, they're technically still filming this scene 28 years after the movie came out.
Kino. Fucking... I love this though because, like, for like a day or like 2 days, they just let him eat real cake.
Oh, yeah.
And he was probably just like, fucking, this is the greatest job ever.
Well, they give him this giant piece of cake, which is like almost the size of a cake in itself, and then they reveal the lunch lady brings out the rest of the cake, which is like, how big would you say this freaking thing is?
Yeah, that was just one slice of the huge cake he's got to eat. And she has like fucking the creepiest looking lunch lady bring it out and mentions that like she put her blood and sweat in there. She says it like that, like as if she literally bled and sweat into it, which is amazing.
You know what I was thinking about? Like, I actually had this thought the other day when I was watching this. When the creepy lunch lady came out, I was just like, you could easily slide it into the world of this movie. Like they showed it, totally showed like the janitor of the school was like a young or like a Robert Englund before he got burned up.
I love that shot right there. It's almost like a commercial.
Yeah.
And then they pop in. Are we seeing the same shot? Was that the black background that you were seeing?
Yeah. Where it's just like, yeah.
It's fucking Kino. Fucking,
It's just his chocolatey ass face against a black background.
He looks like he's just like fucking like trying so hard to not throw up. Isn't that like? I feel bad for him because like that is the worst thing ever. Like you ever have those times where you're sick and it's just like fucking. Yeah. Like somebody's like, oh, I just ordered a pizza. And it's just like, oh, the idea of eating a pizza I just want to throw. Even though it's something you fucking love, and any other time you'd be like, fuck yes, a pizza. I am so covered in cane right now. But like, you're ever that sick where it's just like, that's what I'm getting from him right now. He's a good little actor. Yeah, I'm getting those vibes.
Yeah, like it totally reminded me that this was a precursor to that Man vs. Food show. Like the kid even looks like that guy.
So basically, yeah, Matilda basically stands up because basically this is all public humiliation. She's trying to fucking fuck with him psychologically. And fucking Matilda, she's smart enough to see this. And she gets up and starts egging him on. You can do it, Bruce. And I love that, like, it turns into this triumphant moment where he's like, yeah.
Yeah, so like he's ready to puke, and then just because they cheer, he can eat, like, the rest of the cake.
It's just like, hell yeah, what a king. Like, basically, this is like, oh, fucking, it's all crashing down around me. And, like, he picks up he licks it clean, licks the fucking thing, the tray that the fucking cake came out on, and he holds it up above his head in triumph. And then, as if the movie reads your mind, because you're just like, oh, she's just going to bring it over his head. But they would never do that in a kid's movie. But then she does it.
That's the DeVito Kino.
And then he burps. It's just like it's so perfect.
Yeah, when he burped, I totally thought he was going to start barfing right there.
Like, that's such a perfectly crafted scene. It's like imprinted permanently on my brain, and it'll never be gone. And I'm fine with that.
I like this too, like the CIA guy, the cop guys, Pee Wee Herman, Tracy Walter, they're outside. I love how, like, over and over through the rest of the movie, Matilda comes in and she says, they're outside, they're cops. They're cops. Why would cops be out there, Matilda? Blah, blah. They're cops, Daddy. They're cops.
She realized that they were cops immediately, basically.
Yeah, and these morons.
She got home from school and just saw them in the car watching TV. And so she comes in and tells them. And I guess they just think she's being paranoid.
Yeah.
They don't think anything. What? They're just, like, you think he would, like, oh yeah, I am kind of a bad used car salesman, but he never thinks about it. Big Chad, I think.
Yeah.
Look at that. I'm pretty sure this movie was the first time I was ever introduced to fucking peanut butter and jelly sold as one, and it blew my fucking mind.
Well, you know what's funny? Like I buy that from time to time. I swear to God, that jar that she was opening, I don't think the packaging has changed ever since. Like the label, everything.
It looked the same, yeah. Goober, it said on there. What do you? The thing with fucking the peanut butter and jelly is it's like fucking, you take the peanut butter, you put it in the cupboard. What do you do with the jelly? You can't put that in the cupboard too, right?
Yeah,
I don't
you gotta
think you're
put it in the
supposed to.
fridge. Yeah.
But then it makes it too cold, and then it's hard to spread. It's like,
Yeah.
what is the point of this?
Like when I moved in my first apartment with my roommate, my buddy roommate, he taught me the secret of peanut butter and jelly, and I never knew this. You
Fucking
make
give us the fucking scoop, baby.
All right. The way I was like a dummy with peanut butter and jelly. I was like swiping that shit out with the knife, right, and trying to spread it. What you do is you use a spoon instead. So you scoop it out with a spoon, and you put it on the bread, and then you use like the backside of the spoon to spread it, and it spreads it way easier, even if it's cold.
The Kino.
So freaking Kino.
Or you toast that shit, and it mixes with the coldness.
Matilda got thrown in the chokey.
She's getting thrown in. Do you think she was one of those kids that they had to fucking spray it down, disinfect it afterwards?
No.
Fucking get all the came off?
Not the game.
I like it. See, I made like a more family-friendly version of the joke, and then I just had to go there.
I know, you just made it worse.
Fucking drive it off the cliff. But we passed through the part where fucking basically Matilda, she's like, fucking, we gotta teach Miss Trunchbull lessons so that she gets what's that called? A fucking, it's like a lizard, but it's like it secretes. Yeah, it secretes some kind of toxin. That fucking, and they put it in her water, and fucking they get her to drink it, and it's big Chad shit.
Because I guess to set it up, every time she walks into like one of the classes or whatever, she's like, the kids have to have like a pitcher of water and a glass waiting for her, and she screams, "Where's my water?" Blah.
Exactly. Fucking, this movie is basically like Kino. Kino on so many levels. Fucking, it's got, it's like Problem Child. It's like fucking, it's like Carrie.
Yeah.
It's fucking all these great pieces, and fucking amazing. Yeah, Mrs. Honey, she notices that Matilda's just gone, and fucking, and she has to go help her out. She has to go get her out of there, out of that fucking chokey.
I'm getting so loopy, man, because before we recorded this, I went to my local caffeine emporium around where I live. They get these things called Dutch Bros. You just drive through them. It's kind of like Starbucks for millennials, but they got all kinds of other drinks. And they do their own energy drink. And I got this Dutch Bros Rebel energy drink blended. They're so good, man. But I mean, you just get instantly cracked out. So I got the Dragon Slayer. It's raspberry flavor, blue raspberry with blackberry drizzle. It's all purple. It's like it tastes so good that I couldn't like help but like drink it fast. And now like the top of my head is just like feels like a cement block, and like I'm just so like high off of caffeine right now. Like it's insane.
Now, like literally, if I'm really quiet, I can hear the world shaking. Basically, I'm so fucking zoned. I'm so zoned.
I know.
Chad. Did I mention that this is basically a black comedy for kids?
Yeah, like I was thinking about it, that like I don't even really think. I mean, I guess technically she has powers and shit, but I don't even know if you can really call this a children's fantasy. It really is like a black comedy.
It is. It's very odd. Very odd. I always really like black comedies too. There's something like. Well, what are some of your favorite? Like, I gotta say that one that Robin Williams did is one I really want to go back and revisit.
The World's Greatest Dad?
Yeah.
It's been a while that was good. You know what's my favorite black comedy? Remember that short film, and I got you to cover it, Aftermath, I think it was called?
That's your favorite black comedy?
Yeah.
Okay.
The part where he feeds the dog at the end, it's hilarious.
I remember I remember you noticed that it gets really funny whenever, because the dog is a really bad effect. Was that you that said that?
Yeah, just like when he comes on.
I don't think I ever noticed. I was just so shocked by everything else in the movie, I just didn't really notice. Which is kind of funny that you could miss something that obvious.
That's a good question, because I like a lot of like fantasy comedies. I mean, I like comedies, but like I always like a lot of like fantasy comedies that like have like weird science and shit, have like a weird premise. But as far as dark comedies, yeah, it's hard to say.
It's very niche. niche genre.
I feel like pretty much all the ones from like the last 20, 30 years were all directed by Bobcat Goldthwait.
You know, probably, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, like I can't even. I guess Tim Burton shit kind of leans more towards fantasy, but like Edward Scissorhands and his version of Dark Shadows, they're kind of like black comedies, but then they have like a lot of fantasy, you know.
I watched that movie, Thank You for Smoking. You ever watched that?
Yeah. It's been a while, but yeah, I like it. I like the part where the patches.
Oh yeah, it gave me People versus Larry Flint vibes. Mm-hmm. Which is another movie I really like.
Wasn't that the Thank You for Smoking? Wasn't that the debut of our boy Jason Reitman?
Oh, it might have been. Might have been. Hell yeah! Fucking here we go. We're getting ready. See, we were just basically procrastinating. We were just basically pretending like we weren't fucking on the edge of our seat, waiting to watch her drink the fucking water that's got the fucking lizard piss in it. Yeah. That makes you fucking. It makes her go. She doesn't drink it. I forgot. It fucking spills on her.
Yeah, well, Matilda makes the glass like fly, and she shoots the.
Yeah. She didn't mean
and like
to.
they did like 10 different effects on that, because like first there was a shot of the real Newt like swimming in the glass, and then they cut to like a dummy version while the glass was shaking. It's like,
and it's way more fucking like official looking. It looks. Yeah. It reminded me of those, like, remember those things you used to put in water and they'd get bigger.
Oh yeah, they weren't shrinky dinks. That was like the opposite. That was the shit that would like shrink in the oven. But yeah, I can't remember what they were called. But yeah,
fucking it's like a little plastic thing you put in the water. All of a sudden it's like fucking
capsule.
Huge.
Yeah, it's like a dinosaur or whatever.
It's like a really fucking slow acting Skalinsky fucking blow up ray. From
the only time I had those, it was pretty cool. It came in a cool little like plastic. I had Gremlins ones, and it turned into the Gremlin stripe. Came in like this little like kind of egg thing you opened up, and it had the whatever in there, and it turned into this. I remember it was like rubbery and like, you know, but like once it dried out, it kind of just like fell apart, you know.
Toys were cool.
They were like the ones you get, like those things that blow up in the water. I see them in the grocery store now, but it's obvious from the pictures that it's just like a sponge basically. Like they look spongy. The one I had, the Gremlin one, I had a stripe. It was actually like some rubbery shit once it blew up.
Fucking Chad. But yeah, basically, fucking our girl Matilda, she just realized, basically, she didn't mean to make the fucking glass fall over. It happened by accident. She was so anticipating, waiting for her to drink that.
The bitch principal to drink it.
So now she realizes, like, fucking, I can control it. But like at first she doesn't know how to hone it quite. Yeah. And fucking Mrs. Honey, you think she's called Mrs. Honey because her honey pie is just fucking as sweet as honey.
That's
like her
what
pussy.
I figured it was. Our boy Ro, he knew what he was doing.
It's gotta be. That's the only thing that makes sense.
I was like, I wonder who's hotter, like Miss Honey in this movie or the teacher from Billy Madison. I think it was Bridget Wilson.
Fucking it's amazing. Fucking, I want to see a movie where they're the only two fucking teachers at a fucking Big Stacy University, basically.
Speaking of, you know what a good black comedy is, and I kind of want to do it for this, but like it's never available on streaming or anything. You ever see our boy Cusack? You ever see The Ice Harvest with him and Billy Bob Thornton?
I haven't.
That's a good dark comedy.
Chad. That reminds me, I did get fucking Crazy Summer, the other movie from the Better Off Dead guy.
Oh, I did too. Yeah, there was a guy on Podbean request we do it back when we did Better Off Dead, and I was like, yeah, like because we had talked about it. So now that you have a copy, I think we can make that happen.
Chad, I've never seen it. Fucking, I am excited.
But summer's almost over, so technically we probably won't record it in summer, but I don't think anybody will give a shit. Because when we release Christmas episodes on Christmas, nobody listens to them. But when we release Orgasm on Christmas, everybody comes.
Chad, everybody cames. Mm-hmm. And that's why it's so crazy. It's just a crazy summer. We release it after summer's over. We just when you thought you figured out all the questions, we changed the answers.
Exactly. Now this is the origin right here, like a flashback of Miss Honey, and like I could have swore they got one of the younger Matildas to play Miss Honey as a kid. It was kind of weird.
Very similar. The shots remind me of fucking the little girl from Slumber Party Massacre or something. Like fucking Or which movie was that? I think that was Slumber Party Massacre. Just random shots of a little girl at the beginning, and it's like, fucking. I don't remember this subplot in the movie. It's because I always remember.
Kind of Sleepaway Camp too, when they show like the young little girl Angela or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And fucking, they hide the fact that it's Miss Honey for like a second, and then they just
like
reveal
half a minute, yeah. But yeah, so basically her story was her mom died, and then like her family was rich, so her and her dad lived in the mansion, and then her who was the mean principal, was like her cousin or her aunt or something.
Fucking her aunt.
Yeah.
And she ends up living with her, and she's abusive. Basically, it's like a parallel to Matilda with her parents, kind of.
And it's kind of funny too, because Matilda's like smarter than Miss Honey, because she tells the story that like, her dad died, and Matilda's like how did he die? And they're like, Miss Honey's like, well, the police said it was a suicide, but like Matilda figures it out in like 2 seconds. It's obvious that the principal lady poisoned her dad, killed him. She's
literally better than every forensic scientist that ever existed.
Did you ever watch the spin-off show to this they had in the early 2000s, CSI Matilda?
I would watch that. I would
totally
watch that. It sounds like fucking that has to start out with the dankest fucking Who song.
Yeah. We won't be fooled again.
Fucking hell yeah. Chad.
I always thought that was weird as shit that CSI started out with the Who song. Like, what the Who? Who thought of that?
I don't know. They're just like, we need a fucking Why write a catchy jingle when you could just take a song that's already popular, everybody knows it, and just use it? Why not?
The guys that came up with the show Law and Order were kicking themselves because they came up with the whole like dum dum.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Fuckers.
They're like, we could have just took a freaking AC/DC tune from the 70s.
Exactly.
Everybody would have loved it. Talking about my generation.
She got all serious there. She looked like her cousin Ben whenever he finds out the fucking someone in school taught something he doesn't like or something. Fucking he gets
when he finds out one of the teachers was trans, he gets mad.
He finds out they're trying to fucking teach kids that shit like that exists or something. He's really angry.
I like this black cat that scares the principal lady here. It's real funny how it jaunts around.
Exactly. This is what you do though when you're the king. You fucking you get scared of the fucking the Trenchable. She looks all badass, but she's scared of the fucking cat. She's all superstitious and shit. You can see the camera guy right there. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see it.
Fucking walking in towards the camera, in towards the car.
I gotta let you on a secret, Zach. I'm watching a very, very, very special edition of this film. One special that you probably couldn't even find if you wanted to, but Netflix sent it to me anyway. Not only am I watching Matilda on standard definition DVD, I'm watching it full screen, baby.
King.
So if people don't know, when you put a full screen DVD on a widescreen TV, is actually a really good option because it lets you see the movie as Zack Snyder intended, and it also keeps the left and the right side of the screen black, so you're using 33% less energy, and you're saving the environment while you're watching this copy of Matilda.
King. Fucking, he's eco-friendly and the fucking king of Kino, the goat over here.
This is probably the version Matilda's mom saw before she passed. She probably saw the full frame.
It's possible. Back then, we didn't have widescreen TV. That people bring up that fucking Stanley Kubrick. He didn't want his shit coming. We disrespected his legacy by fucking putting out. That's probably why. It's just because he didn't think that'd be the standard. Fucking, he probably just didn't want fucking black bars on the top and bottom.
Well, it's just really stupid too, because it's like, oh yeah, Stanley Kubrick wanted his films full frame. It's like, well, I was actually old enough that I saw Full Metal Jacket and Eyes Wide Shut in the theater, and they were not full frame. So how did he really want the movie? Okay. Oh, you just had an old master laying around that you wanted to reuse? Okay.
King. Maybe he just was crazy. Maybe he just liked the square. I like squares. There are movies made now that have like the artistic touch, and they're like fucking. Sometimes they just like that square look.
Wouldn't it be funny if Stanley Kubrick was one of those guys with his tube TV. He's like, I like the movie to take up my whole screen. And it's like, but Stanley, you made this movie. He's like, I don't give a shit.
I don't give a shit. I wasn't even paying attention to the fucking size.
He's like, my OCD and autism had me do 87 takes of how Sidney Pollack put the wine glass down, but I don't give a shit if the left and the right picture is missing.
That's why fucking that would have been. What if we build an AI where it's like fucking Stanley Kubrick. We let it read Stanley Kubrick's biography all the time. Fucking teach it everything Stanley Kubrick. No, we've recalculated how his AI would be. Stanley, tell us the secrets, and he just drops the red pill on us, and he's would we believe it or would we just say, oh, he's got a virus or something?
Yeah,
Stanley was a genius. Oh, I forgot to mention that's the writer of Matilda, her dad there.
Oh yeah, and the pictures.
Fucking those are the pictures of the writer. I forget his name, but fucking he is the Roe from Roe vs. Wade or something.
The Roald Dahl, yeah.
Exactly. And he also wrote Big Fucking Giant, BFG. That's totally what that means, right? That's what I assume.
Yeah.
Or Big Fucking Guy.
Did you ever see the porn versions called BFD, Big Fucking Daddy?
Big Fucking King.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Oh, I was going to mention too, you know what what would have made this movie fucking a 10 out of 10? Is if fucking Danny DeVito, he did everything right. He should have got fucking Tom Waits to do the score. And fucking the main theme should have just been that song where he says waltzing Matilda, but he just changes it to fucking watching Matilda. Oh, you come watching Matilda with me. Fucking, I would come instantly. Like they just let him do that with the score. Just like take one of your songs, be all meta, and just talk about how you're gonna come and watch Matilda with us.
Do you ever think when Tom Waits like sneezes real hard, like little bits of old broken razor blades fly out of the back of his throat?
I hope so. I hope so. Well, I was actually I thought of that because I was listening to fucking Real Gone, the album Real Gone, and I was like, dude, this is literally a death metal album. Convince me it's not. Convince me it's not.
Well, it probably is. He's a rocker.
He's doing a death growl through the whole thing.
Now this is what I was talking about, Zach. Is like Danny DeVito Kino as a director. Like they're in this hijinks where they're sneaking around this mansion that used to belong to Miss Honey's family or whatever. And her and Matilda get separated, and the principal comes home, and she like hears somebody, and she's like chasing around trying to find out who's in her house or whatever. But like this is a good 20 minutes of the running time. This just this one scene of her trying to find who's in her house.
Yeah, forget about that. What do you think of the pacing of this? I'm not sure if like I definitely still love the movie, but I don't know if it'd be. I don't know if I'd say I love the movie. Like it's definitely at least an 8 out of 10. I'd say it holds up. At least there. But I remember as a kid, this was just like fucking. This is a 10 out of 10 at least.
I like it. I actually really like this movie. Like the scenes that go on for like forever and ever. I actually like it because it reminds me. Like this movie came out in '96, but it reminds me like kind of more of like the movies that were in the '80s, where like they really never worried about people's attentions like spans, and they just like they just committed to it, and like just the hijinks went on forever and ever, and you got to like draw out long because the movie itself like isn't that long. It's an hour 38 minutes, so it's still 20 minutes shy of 2 hours. So I mean, yeah, they could have trimmed this all down to like a little under 90 minutes if they wanted to, but I'm kind of glad they didn't because I kind of it makes the movie more memorable for me personally.
I think it works. I'm always hesitant to like rate a movie when I watch the movie just to record a podcast because I always know that like when I'm rewatching a movie, I want to wait till I'm like in the perfect mood because it's like I know that movie. I know what kind of mood I want to be in when I watch it. Usually when I watch this movie, it's like it's fucking 9 out of 10. Well, this is like I don't know. Would I give it an 8? This stuff? Fucking, it's probably a 9 out of 10 at least. Fucking, I love this movie.
Yeah, like I mean. Because, like I said, I was already a young adult when this movie came out, so I had no interest in it being a kid's movie. Like, if this would have come out when I was, like, 15 or 16, like, me and my dad would have still went to see it. Like, we always went to see even still kids movies. Like I remember when I don't know how old I was, but they came out with like new versions of Dennis the Menace and Little Rascals and
I like that Dennis the Menace movie.
Yeah.
fucking Christopher Lloyd literally is just playing a fucking greasy pedophile, hanging out in the fucking kid yard. Just
is he
Mr.?
I can't remember. Is he Mr. Wilson in it?
He's the fucking the guy that ends up kidnapping him.
Okay, yeah.
Like fucking, doesn't he like do something like fucking? Dennis does some hijinks and fucking basically he's like he feeds him a bunch of beans and he's like getting all bloated and trying to fart and shit. Amazing film, amazing film.
I thought there was a part where he locked Dennis in the basement or something.
Fucking, there's so much Kino for one movie. It's hard to remember.
Yeah, I always remember Mason Gamble. Some kid named Mason Gamble played Dennis the Menace, and like they made a big deal of it. Like I think they were trying to make him like the new Macaulay Culkin or something.
Oh yeah.
He was probably too old by the time Dennis the Menace came out, or they probably couldn't afford him. But could you imagine how much of a classic Dennis the Menace would have came out if they would have had Mac Culkin play him?
Fucking, I can't imagine. I can only fucking dream. You know who played the mom to Dennis in that movie though?
I can't remember because I'm getting confused with Leave It to Beaver, but I remember one of them, Janine Turner, played the Stacy-ass 50s mom. Who was it in Dennis the Menace?
It's another Stacy-ass 50s mom. It was Leah Thompson.
Oh, that's even better.
With blonde hair. A blonde in that movie.
So when are we going to do the commentary for that one?
Fucking, right after this one.
Yeah.
Right after.
No, but...
You got the Blu-ray?
I don't have the
Blu-ray.
But yeah, like it's kind of weird because, like I said, like I just remember the trailer for this movie, and then like I remember the cover, seeing it on whatever VHS, DVD, whatever, in the stores. So like to me, just the cover was always just the little girl's face, and I kind of like never thought about the movie. So like when I watched this, I didn't really have any nostalgia for like the actual movie because it wasn't like, oh, I remember going to see this when I was younger. But when I watched it, I still had nostalgia for the style of filmmaking, like those up angle camera shots they had of like the zoom into people's faces to make it more cartoony and wacky. Like I miss that kind of whole over the top filmmaking style for kids films back then. For not even just kids films, like a lot of like family films, PG rated films back then would be like that. Mm-hmm. Now this is a scene where the mom, Rhea Perlman, has the two cops in her house, and she totally does it. She thinks they're speedboat salesmen, and she's like entertaining them, and like I was getting like slightly aroused because I totally thought she was going to do like a double hand job here.
She kind of looks like she's flirting with him.
Yeah, big time. She's like all over him, and then okay, check out DeVito. He's like, "What's going on? Is this a hot tub party? Get the hell out of here!" And then he calls them surfer dudes. Like they're like the nerdiest guys in dress clothes and shit. And then later, I forget what he says. He says something, and he calls them like male bimbos or male models or something.
He's just surfer dude bodybuilders.
Yeah. Or no, he says male strippers. That was like another thing where I'm like, this movie's like, I should be able to come home without having to wade through male strippers. Like, this movie's totally more adult than you would think it would be. Oh.
I remember we watched this in school once.
Sorry for that. Like, I picked up my drink and it was stuck to my wooden coaster because of the condensation, and it just blew out everybody's ears listening on headphones. Sorry about that.
Fucking, isn't that funny how fucking the pussy of the can can get wet?
Yeah, I know. It's horrible.
The can's pussy got wet. That's so funny. Really.
I'll see if I can edit it out when I edit this. But
you might as well leave it there because that's literally that's the fucking awesome shit.
Dragon Slayer.
We're hitting right now. We're hitting when fucking our girl. She's figured out how to do it. She's figured out how to hone her power.
And like I don't know how to describe it, Zach, but these are like this type of special effects that I like. Like she starts making all the shit fly around the house, and some of it you can tell is animated. Some of it you can tell is household items flying around on wires. Some of it's like kind of digitally composited in. But these are the kind of special effects I like.
Yeah, it's like it works for the whimsical nature.
Yeah, like it's live action, but you almost get like a cartoon feel. Like I don't know how to describe it.
I like movies like that. I love adult movies like that more than anything too. Like whenever like it's fucking like if I ever made a movie, I would probably like try to hit that tone at some point.
It might be because I have the full frame version, but that one shot where he's looking down the end of the spoon, you can see the wire that was like inserted into the end of the spoon. And she just totally just pointed at everything in the house, making it all spin around.
And she pulls it out, fucking holds it up to the camera like it's a fucking commercial. Amazing. That must have fucking twisted the knife so hard, and fucking Ben Shapiro's like, she's already fucking selling advertisement in some movies.
He's like, it'll be years before I have to. There is some good CGI here, like you could tell like the cards and the poker chips flying around the room. But I mean, it's good CGI. Like, you ever notice they never do it now in movies? Zach, is the key to like having CGI be like believable is you got to have the camera be far away from the CGI object, so you can make the CGI object small, so you can't see it too much up close. Now they always like do a shot where like whatever CGI object is like right huge in the middle of the frame, you can tell it's a cartoon. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, she literally has the entire like front room like just dancing like it's the end of fucking Beetlejuice over here.
You know what it looked like? What it reminded me of? I don't know. You probably have seen this movie recently, but like the movie Poltergeist, where the paranormal investigators like come into the house and they open up the kid's room and it's just all the toys in the room spinning around the room and shit. That's what it looked like.
So fucking king, like fucking. That's exactly what I'd do if I found out I had powers like that.
Yeah. Well, we got to talk about this here because, like, now the cops are like they're sneaking into illegally Matilda's garage and trying to set up a video camera to do whatever, and she's like moving this box around and screwing with them and stuff. I really thought like seriously, like I thought like first of all I was blown away because I was like, shit, she really has powers. Like until that scene happened, I didn't really think she did have powers. Like even the scene with the newt or whatever, the toad, like whatever it was, the lizard, I thought it just jumped out of the thing and she imagined it. So when this movie with like only like 25 minutes left, I think commits to the fact that she has magical carry powers, and then the cops show up and are like, oh, we're just going to do what we want and break into these people's houses. I really thought this was going to become like a Home Alone ripoff at this point, and she was going to be using the magic powers to keep them out of the house.
Oh, okay, yeah, it could have. You know what's funny too is I never really thought of that. Like, because I saw this when I was a kid, I just know the plot. I remember when it was coming out. I remember the poster, but you probably didn't see the original poster. You probably saw the DVD poster and stuff. But like the original poster had basically her sitting there like that, but it had like all the floating shit around her.
Really? No, yeah, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah. So, and that was like part of the trailer. Like
that should have been like the VHS cover, or the DVD cover. Like every cover I've ever seen is just a close up of her face smiling.
Unless I'm maybe I'm thinking of like a clamshell VHS cover. Maybe, yeah, hard telling. Fucking, I'm pretty sure there was something kind of like cluing you in on like because it's easy to kind of forget that's a plot point. It is kind of like fucking. I wonder if the original short story or story was probably way more. Well, it's hard telling. It could have been like this too. Like she finds out towards the end, and then she uses it to fucking. These effects are very very Kino, very Kino. Look at that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking it up. There's a million different posters of it. It's hard to say what the original one was.
They just reverse. They just had him put a carrot in his mouth and then blow it out and just reverse the shot. Probably, you know, that's how he did.
Well, the carrot, like she made her brother throws a carrot at her and she like stops it in midair and makes it fly back and hit him in the mouth. Like I thought that shit was like going to go straight down his throat, but it just stopped at his teeth.
Choke him to death.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking as he's dying, fucking the zombies just show up and start pulling his intestines out, and he tells her to choke. Fucking throws the carrot back at her, like an act of defiance. They gotta let us think of that movie again because they already referenced it once.
I literally just got this idea and I looked it up, and yes, it's true. There are actually people with Matilda tattoos from this movie.
King. You think they're just simps for Mara Wilson? They wanted to meet her one day and be like, fucking look what I got.
Maybe they were kids when they saw the movie, they fell in love with her.
They're like, fucking, yeah, when I was a kid, I wanted some of that Matilda pussy. And I'm a grown adult now, and I want some of that Matilda pussy. Fucking Mara Wilson pussy.
Play-Doh.
Yeah, I realized like fucking, I I realized like, fuck, well, if you're an adult now and you still want the kid Marvel Wilson, well, that's there's something wrong with that. There's something wrong
Something
with that.
seriously wrong with that.
You should probably tell somebody about that. Get some help. With that.
Did you notice when she's like on the rooftop here, like straddling the rooftop, climbing around on it, like the top like layer that she's sitting on is like made out of sponges. Like the tiles are like rubbery sponge tiles. I guess they didn't want her to actually climb on like a hard ass roof.
Oh yeah, I didn't notice. The
Yeah.
fucking that fucking scary doll there.
Mhm.
What does she call it again?
I think it's called. I'm confused now because I looked at the trivia and like originally it was called Lucy Doll, but I think they changed it in the movie.
I think it is Lucy Doll. I think it's just spelt with an I. I think it's just her name was pronounced. If I remember right, that's like the wife of the writer of.
Yeah, I couldn't
Matilda.
remember I couldn't tell from the way the trivia was if that was the name of the wife or the daughter. Couldn't tell.
I want to say it is pronounced Lucy Doll. I've always thought that's what she said in the movie, unless I was always mishearing it too.
Unless you were already based.
I was already based and cum-pilled.
Very Kino pilled with this film.
We're seeing, yeah, basically she is at this point. Fucking, she went, her and Miss Honey, fucking they went, and she found out all the backstory behind the trench bullshit, and now she came back at night. She's like, fucking, it's Miss Honey. She basically told her, like, fucking, you know, basically they had, the dad died. She was very abusive, and then fucking, like, one day she got out and fucking never went back. So, like, fucking, and Matilda's like, I want to get fucking a Lucy doll, fucking Mrs. Honey's doll that's
Get
still
it
in
back
there.
for her, yeah.
And while she's fucking going through that little adventure, trying to get that back, she's just fucking with the Trenchable a little bit here. And just teach her less.
Principal Trenchable. That's her name.
Principal Trenchable.
People listening probably like, what the hell are they saying? Like, you ever hear that when people are saying, like, weird words on a podcast?
What does Trenchable mean? I've never heard of it. Is that just her last name?
Yeah, Trenchable. Yeah, it's just her last name.
I was saying it like it was like a thing you could be at a school. Isn't that funny how
Yeah,
movies
a
shape
trenchable.
the movies shape the way we think of things like that?
Yeah.
Like, fucking, I was letting you guys know that I'm like very low T, low IQ'd, but very high Kino when I did that. I'm okay with it.
It's funny how you're talking about Christopher Lloyd, because I was like, this is so weird. DeVito does the narration for the movie and he plays the dad. Because, I mean, his evil dad voice is more like, blah, 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 whatever. But, like, yeah, like, he just does it like, I'm Danny DeVito and I'm narrating a story. But, I mean, you can still tell it's, like, the same guy's, like, voice or whatever. Like, yeah. I was even thinking, like, he should have got Christopher Lloyd, because Christopher Lloyd has a real distinctive speaking voice. And they did Taxi. When I was a kid, Taxi was, like, a big-ass TV show. Like, I don't know if it was still on first run or if it was just reruns, but Taxi was a big deal.
I need to watch that show. I've always heard it's good, yeah.
It was pretty, like, good from what I remember, because, like, even as a kid, I liked the cast. Like Christopher Lloyd kind of stole this show, and DeVito was good on it, and then... Like, even as a kid, I always, like, had a crush on Mary Lou Henner, and Tony Danza was good on the show, too. And I'm blanking on the other guy's name.
Andy Kaufman.
Oh, yeah, Andy Kaufman. And there was, like, one other guy that was kind of, like, one of the straight guys, one of the cab drivers. He was kind of just, like, not as silly. He was kind of, like, one of the regular characters. But, yeah, Taxi was a good show. Even as a real young kid, I watched it.
Look, fucking Matilda has been able. This is the first, fucking what's that called? The fucking dent in the armor, if you will, of the trenchable. Yeah,
like this is like a horror movie here. Like I don't even think we really explained it, but she's making the principal think that her house is haunted, but then she finds Matilda's a head ribbon or whatever on the lawn, and she immediately knows it's Matilda. It's like. She's all like some scary ass ghost shit. Like, why would you think a child would be able to pull that off? Like,
fucking, I would just assume it was the fucking it belonged to the ghost child that fucking is haunting me now.
It's like all of a sudden this movie turns into the Changeling or whatever.
Exactly. Fucking Matilda shops at the same store this fucking little kid does. I would never assume it was Matilda.
Did you ever watch that movie, The Changeling, when you were a kid?
I didn't see that until way later.
Yeah, like I watched it as a super young kid, and I just remember I got a copy of it. I bought it not too long ago, but I haven't watched it. But like I just remember there was like a scary scene of like a ball rolling down a hallway that like scared the shit out of me as a kid.
Yeah. that fucking yeah, we're leading up to the third act here. We're fucking basically, in a way, this is kind of a revenge story.
Oh, big
Basically,
time.
fucking
This is
get,
the movie that inspired Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill.
exactly. I always remember this scene where she shows Mrs. Honey that fucking she has the power and it finally works. And because I always remember thinking like, I didn't expect that. Usually in movies like this, the adult never finds out.
Never
right?
believes, yeah.
Yeah. So like here she finds out it doesn't really change much. It's just like
No.
because by the end of the movie, it's just like it's not like Matilda loses her powers. It's like now she has her powers. And fucking, she vowed to never use them again, but she still uses it to fucking grab a book that she can't reach or something. Fucking, it almost sets it up like there's gonna be a sequel. They could do it. Fucking. I'm surprised Ben Shapiro isn't fucking calling Mara Wilson now. Like fucking, let me do the sequel. Fucking, we can do it for Daily Wire films. Fucking, we could put all kinds of based and fucking
Daily Wire.
Exactly.
He'll do the narration for all of them too.
I always noticed how weird and kind of goofy that effect looks in particular. Like they made it too elaborate. Like look how fucking steady that rises and that looks.
Yeah.
So there, it's like fucking. I would have just had a green screen guy. It looked like she just flipped off that calendar and it fell.
It did.
Fucking,
I like how Miss Honey had to grab the water pitcher out of the air.
Exactly. Something about the way it raises up. It's just like you could have literally just had a guy standing there wearing a green suit, and he could have picked it up. It looks like you literally tied it to like a fucking pulley system. This lifts up so steady. You didn't have to do that, Danny. Maybe that was his Kino shit. He was being OCD, like our boy Stanley Kubrick, and he's like it has to look a certain way.
Speaking of DeVito as a director, I was just looking at this right now. Like he kind of got his start with short films in the 70s. And then he directed a bunch of TV shows, like, just episodes of TV shows in the 80s, I guess, to get ready. So, like, he hit kind of, like, a somewhat short, like, keep in mind, like, I'm shocked, but our boy DeVito is 77 years old. But his first, like, full-length movie he directed was 1987's Throw Mama from the Train.
I love that movie, too.
Yeah, that was a big hit. And then 2 years later, he did The War of the Roses, that movie with Kathleen Turner and Michael Douglas. That was a big hit.
I like something about the way he does these comedies. They're very kind of just like kind of throwaway ideas, but he makes them fun.
Yeah.
Sorry,
or he takes some. Yeah, your mic crackled, but yeah. And then '92 he did Hoffa, which with Jack Nicholson. I remember that being pretty good. And then '96 he followed Hoffa with Matilda. 2002 he did Death of Smoochie, which was trying to be like a really weird, dark version of Barney. And then 2003 he did Duplex, and ever since then he did a TV movie called Queen Bee in 2005. I've never heard of it. Then he did a bunch of shorts, and I think that's it. He's got
Duplex is pretty fun for what it is too. Like that's a good date movie. I think
he has a movie in completion. I'm guessing it's a feature. Like he hasn't directed a full length theatrical movie since 2003. It says he's completed a movie called Saint Sebastian, starring William Fichtner, Lance Reddick, and the whatever synopsis is: survivors in a post-apocalyptic Russia after a nuclear war.
Fucking, I only expect the most Kino. From the man who greenlit and made happen Pulp Fiction. People don't realize that.
Well, not only that, with Jersey Films, I forgot to mention, pretty much back to back, he produced the Jerky Boys movie and then Matilda.
King.
I know.
What a fucking double feature.
So this scene, Principal Trunchbull, she's convinced that it was just Matilda doing elaborate tricks on her, even though she saw the shit fly across the room. And now Matilda picks up the chalk and writes a note saying, like, oh, this is Magnus, which is Miss Honey's father that she killed. And she says, leave them alone. If you don't, I'll fix them the way you fix me and all that.
She made a guess, and hopefully she fucking if she's wrong and Miss Trunchbull didn't kill him, she's like, what the fuck? He blames me for a suicide? How's that work?
Yeah.
but she's still scared. She's still terrified. What if we get a sequel and that's what it is? It's just her. Like Matilda isn't even there. It's just fucking. She's living in like a fucking mental asylum with a straitjacket on and shit.
Well, the reason I bring this scene up is like this was in the trivia, Zach, on IMDb, and like I can't believe this, but if this is true, this is so based in red pilled you wouldn't believe. It says Matilda writing on a chalkboard with the power of her mind was an idea later used by Stephen King in Doctor Sleep, his book sequel to The Shining, to send someone a message. Could you imagine Stephen King ripping this movie off?
Fucking, I just did. Fucking, he did it. We just read about it. Unless you made that trivia up.
No, it's on IMDb. Anybody can go see it.
Oh, right here. When I was watching this earlier, this shot of her falling, I want so bad to make an edit where it fucking just shows her falling and then it cuts to Annie from fucking Misery hitting the fucking typewriter.
That would be good.
This shot reminds me so much of her fucking falling. I almost expected to see a typewriter show up and her to just hit her head on it for no reason.
Check this out, baby. It says DeVito wanted Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen to play Matilda, but they were busy making the movie Takes Two. I think that's the one with Steve Guttenberg.
Fucking another memorable Kino film. I watched that a lot growing up. I'm pretty sure this movie
Takes Two?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Was that one of, like, the movies? That had to be, yeah, the one with Steve Guttenberg. That was one of the ones that, like, came out. Because I remember they had, like, a lot of, like, videos you could just buy in Walmart. This is the best special effect here of the kid just flying around. Trunchbull throws him out of the window, and Matilda just makes him fly around like Superman. I love
Exactly.
But the effect is actually good. I mean, it's all green screen, the kid flying, but it's actually not bad. There's a little bit of wire work. But here's some good trivia, too. Miss Trunchbull's mansion was later used as the Omega Beta's sorority house in Scream 2.
Fucking, oh my god, there's so much fucking Kino. I love it. I love it. See, look, fucking, right here. She could easily kill the Trunchbull, but they don't go that dark. What if they did? What if she just fucking...
Oh, yeah.
She puts her in the chokey and fucking, because she's like bigger than the other kids or something, it fucking, she's tall enough to get impaled by that spike.
On the spikes, yeah.
Would you feel bad for her? It's like you put the kids in there. Like, I don't know. Fucking, would it be justified? Could we justify murder in this children's film? I think we could.
I was thinking about it, and I was like, this movie has been so dark leading up to this point. Like, I was just kind of like, I didn't get the Greetings from Asbury Park lunchbox. It was just weird. Was that like a nod to the Bruce Springsteen like album cover?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Helen Hunt and Tori Amos were considered for the role of Miss Honey.
Oh, yes.
Imagine Tori Amos in this movie.
I'm glad the people that were cast were cast. I'm glad we didn't get fucking Michelle Tanner as Matilda.
Yeah, I love Mara Wilson as Matilda.
Fucking big Chad shit. This movie's fucking, there's so much Chad energy going on. There's just so much fucking our boy Danny DeVito is what we should be calling him, Danny DeVito.
This was Danny DeVito's first experience with filming in the Super 35 format on a movie that he directed. So that's probably why there's a full frame version of this movie. Super 35 is just I know it's a film stock camera and used a lot in the 80s where you just shoot it all square frame and you just mat it down for the theater.
Mm-hmm. Is that one you like, Throw Mama from the Train? That's another black comedy.
Yeah, like, I liked it as a kid. Like, I remember, like...
It's one of those movies, like, I really love it, but I feel like the ending is just kind of like a mess. Like, they didn't know how to end it or something.
Like, the best part of the movie, even from what I remember of it, the best part of the movie is, like, the first half, where he's, like, meeting him, and, like, he's trying to convince him to kill his mom for him or whatever. But yeah, I would actually totally be down to watch it because I totally remember that movie coming out.
Fucking, I got that movie on Blu-ray.
Oh,
the only bad thing about it is that fucking it doesn't have another scene where fucking his mom gets her head smashed and obliterated.
Supercut it. Speaking of which, Deadly Friend, holy shit! Like, I covered that a couple years ago, and you want to talk about a sleeper hit of a podcast episode, baby. Downloading over the years, people going nuts on Deadly Friend.
That made me excited to watch it. Fucking when I got that, Fucking, very Kino, very Kino. Fucking our boy the goat, he's always reminding us. See, they foreshadowed this. Fucking, if only Mrs. Honey could have been the mother of Matilda.
Yep.
Like how happily
been
ever after.
perfect.
And I noticed while watching it this time that this is kind of a cute way to kind of bring the idea to kids that like fucking sometimes, like, you know, sometimes your parents aren't the best guardian for. Sometimes, like, some parents just they're not ready to be parents. Sometimes, so I think this is like a lesson. It's good to fucking let kids know sometimes
that they can be adopted by their school teachers that love them way more than their real parents.
Exactly.
Do you think
but it's woke, and we shouldn't have that in the movie too.
You think it's woke to have the teachers adopt the kids?
Anything besides the fucking mother and father go. Anything besides the mother and father is woke.
So
days.
that's why Ben's been harboring the resentment towards his cousin all these years.
It really is kind of just becoming that at this point where woke used to mean something, but now it literally is just like fuck progressive, like anything. Like that's kind of what it is at this point, I think.
See, I kind of have like a reverse thing with, like, I know a lot of people complain about entertainment being too woke these days, and I kind of have the opinion that when everything's woke, nothing's woke anymore.
Exactly. Now we're all sleeping.
Yeah. But I was going to say, because like this wraps up, and it's really funny and convenient. This is another thing I like about this movie. It's just willing to be wacky. Is Matilda printed out some adoption papers, which I don't know how you could do that without being like a legal adoption agency in terms of making it a binding contract. But she's had adoption papers sitting in her pocket, she says, ever since she was old enough to Xerox. And basically she's been waiting to find somebody that her parents could sign her over to just dump her off. Because DeVito, he finally got busted on his stolen car parts business. I think they said they're on the way to Guam or something. So literally in 30 seconds, they just wrap up the movie by having them sign some paperwork that basically just gives their kid to Miss Honey.
Fucking the king way to do it. Fucking, and now fucking she gets Mrs. Honey. Fucking Big Stacy, like she's got a MILF mom just right out of the fucking gate, and your mom's a teacher and shit. Like, how many like friends who are dudes are gonna be hanging out at her house, just like, dude, fucking Matilda, I really want to fuck your mom. Fucking let her know. Let her know. Like,
I was thinking about that. Yeah, let your mom know, Matilda. Matilda.
You think she'd go out with like a fucking kid from high school?
Remember that band? I think they were called "Come Fountains Away." They wrote that song, Matilda's Mom Got It Going On. And it's all about like a boy that like befriends Matilda and hangs out with her like in her backyard during summertime just so she can look at Miss Honey by the poolside or whatever.
Basically. Come Fountains of Wayne. Fountains of Came.
Fountains of Came.
Fuck it, there it is.
Oh, back to the Clockwork Orange with the credits, the red and the orange Clockwork Orange. But but that end part, I think a young Vin Diesel in community college was sitting there, with his notebook, taking down the notes about family, and it's probably Matilda. Matilda's probably what inspired the whole Fast and the Furious franchise. Isn't
it ironic that a guy that's known for like family and shit, like, turns out he's a big dick behind the scenes, and it's hard to get him to work with all these actors? It's so funny.
But yeah, apparently he fires family. They give our boys Paul Rubens and Tracy Walter the same credit at the end. Put them together.
Chaz. Fucking, I like these. I like credits like this where they fucking. It's not just on a black screen. We change it to different colors. Why not? Fuck, there's no rules. We break the rules.
Like every 5 seconds, just your TV screen is getting blasted by a new Day-Glow bright color.
There's so much fucking just Kino fucking exhilarating shit running through your TV screen. Like back in the day, the fucking tube TVs, they had to fucking put all these colors out one by one, but fucking nowadays it's all different. Fucking they're making it work for its fucking to show you this Kino, that TV set.
I tell you what, like, did you see a couple of weeks ago, or maybe like a month ago at this point, when the Minions movie came out, everybody became gentle Minions, where they put on suits and shit and went to go watch a cartoon? I would get dressed up in like, like wacky time period costumery to go see Matilda in the theater, I think.
Oh yes, hell yes. I made it a point to always bring up fucking Ben Shapiro. Fun fact. Apparently, whenever it came out, this became a news story that like the girl that played Matilda is the cousin of Ben Shapiro, and
were they trying to cancel her out of her career that she doesn't?
No, they were trying to they're basically like they wanted to get some comment out of fucking, and apparently they asked Ben Shapiro, he's like, fuck, I don't know much about her, like she has to be blocked on Twitter.
Yeah, I've never heard that till you say it, but yeah, there's an article that says why the Matilda star Mara Wilson won't speak to her cousin Ben Shapiro.
Because he's like a bit of a weirdo, a bit of a religious zealot.
Let's see. It says
he's pretty king though. Fucking ironically,
I'm just going to read this. I don't know if a word of this is true. This is from suggest.com. It says, while someone's family is bound to bond folks together in certain ways, these two couldn't be more different. For one thing, Wilson and Shapiro are both Jewish, yet their views on their community are very, very different. In the wake of a major violent hate crime that took place at a Hanukkah celebration in 2019, Shapiro tweeted about his controversial opinion that every synagogue should have at least an armed guard and several people qualified with firearms.
Exactly. Now, fucking, basically schools. That was back then. That was the schools of that time.
And then Mara Wilson said the Jewish community I grew up in was very politically conservative. In the past few years, I found myself moving more and more to the left, and the more I've read about the leftist history of Judaism, the more I felt like that's where I belong. I just think I have a lot of compassion for people, regardless of their political beliefs or where they're from, and really just want justice and dignity for the future of the world. And I think Nazis should fuck off. I guess that makes me a leftist Jew. So that's why her and Ben don't speak anymore.
So fucking woke. Fucking using the dead Kennedys. She's fucking bringing the dead Kennedys into this. They weren't woke. They didn't hate Nazis and shit.
The dead Kennedys?
Fucking, exactly. Exactly.
Oh, Mara Wilson was also in A Miracle on 34th Street. I knew there was another movie I knew her from.
Oh, yeah.
And Miss Doubtfire, too.
Yes, Mrs. Doubtfire.
And there was a movie called A Simple Wish, which looks really wacky. Came out a year after Matilda. I remember her on the cover of that, too. So
I remember seeing footage of her doing a movie while she was, like, in high school. And it was like, fuck, she was talking about how, like, fucking, she hates watching that or something. And, like, fucking, she could tell, like, when she's watching it, like, I wasn't into doing acting. I think that's her story. I could be mixing it up with some other. Sometimes, yeah, they just fucking, they don't want to be in the limelight. They just stop acting. Even though it's just like, fucking, it seems like, oh, this would be really easy. Fucking, already getting money. But it's just like, fucking, yeah, if it's just like you're not even interested in it, and once you're not a kid anymore, you can't get by on like the fucking like, oh, I'm just a cute kid. Like now, if I don't learn to act,
then you become like a pool of just general adult people, and it's harder to get real. It seems like she occasionally works still. Seems like she does voice roles. She did the voice of Jill Pill on BoJack Horseman, and she does the voice of Liv Amar on Big Hero 6, the series.
Fuck yes, Jersey Films.
Jersey Films, love it.
Another Tom Waits reference.
Is it? He had an album called Jersey Films.
He had a song called Jersey Girl. Fucking great song.
By the way, this DVD, check to see if your Blu-ray has a special feature. Does it have Matilda the movie read along, where they show like a copy of the book, and up in the corner of the book is like whatever it's describing in the book, it shows you the scene from the movie that corresponds to it. I found that was interesting.
Fucking Escape to the Library, my movie about me. I don't see that on here. It's got fucking.
It must not have made the transition from DVD to Blu-ray.
They probably now they have the fucking they have a reason to put out the Blu-ray, and they were just like, fucking, we'll just put in this fucking reunion we got. I need to watch it.
Did you notice that like DVD was trying to have more progressive, like interactive special features than Blu-ray? And like the best part is when you select the read along, Zach, it says there's two options to get it playing. It says please read to me or I can read. So when you hit please read to me, like somebody's voice, some lady does a voice that reads the book to you. I thought it was pretty good.
Fucking the original Detroit Rock City DVD had a weird fucking like they were trying to like attempt like making they were trying some new shit. They were basically like, what if we have DVD menus that are just like fucking it's split into 4 screens and it tells you push up for special feature, push down to play a movie. What if we did it like that? And fucking they did that for that, and it's like the worst fucking thing. I never used it because like if you press like right or something, then you got the interactive menu. It's like, why would I ever use this? It's terrible.
Speaking of Detroit Rock City, I just checked because that's a movie I've been wanting to own forever. Still out of print on Blu-ray.
Fucking
low T. I
remember. I'm pretty sure I pre-ordered that when it was coming out on Blu-ray.
It came out April 7th, 2015. So you probably in the mail, probably on like April 3rd or 4th, you got it in the mail, baby.
Exactly. Was it already out of print by the time I got it?
I don't know.
Or was it one of those releases? Maybe.
Probably,
who knows?
Probably. But I know 2 years ago when I checked to go buy it, it was already out of print. And I just thought, oh, it's a pandemic thing. You know, the plants are busy. They're just waiting for a repress, whatever. Nope, still out of print.
What if COVID killed Kino? Literally. Because there was a couple of different TV series that got canceled from Netflix because fucking...
and Showtime as well. My girl with the giant milkies after having a baby, Kirsten Dunst, How to Become a God in Central Florida. I watched the first season, renewed for season 2. They're like, oh, we can't shoot it right now because of COVID, so we'll just cancel it. It's like, okay, great.
She got fucking... Literally, How to Become a God... Literally, that is how you have a kid, and then because you're having a kid, you get big fucking Stacey-ass Milkies.
And they exploit it so much in that show. Like, she kind of plays like a white trash mom, and she basically becomes like an aerobics instructor. Like, she works at a water park, and they just put her in like not really bikinis, but like really low cut like bathing suits to just show her like breasts bouncing every chance they can get.
This sounds incredible.
Like, I think she went to shoot that show like 3 weeks after having her baby or some shit. Insane.
I have to see this film. This is gonna go right above the fucking this is spank material. This is gonna go right behind my copy of fucking Melancholia.
Yeah, it will. Which I still gotta watch that.
She shows her boobies. They're so pretty. They're so pretty.
You know what movie of hers is coming out on 4K I want to get? A movie I really like. I like the director too. Is you ever see The Virgin Suicides?
Fucking that's very Kino.
Very Kino. I like that movie. Well, this episode we're doing right now, by the way, the movie's long over. Yes, we know that. But this episode we're doing now is coming out the second half of August, which means it's pretty much the end of summer movie going season. What was your favorite highlight of the 2022 summer movie going season, Zach?
Fucking that time. I definitely want to go watch Nope. I'm hearing good things from most people I know, whose opinions I usually I agree with and shit. So I'm gonna look at that. There was what's that new A24 Kino? The new A24, the Seashell movie.
Okay, I haven't heard about Seashell.
There's some animated movie about a seashell with shoes on. Fucking.
That's like a kids movie. The shell, the seashell, or some shit.
Apparently, it's got some metaphor for the adults too. Amazing. I don't know.
You know what? A24. I still gotta watch. I gotta watch the one about the lady who gives birth to a lamb or whatever.
I've heard mixed things about that one.
My boy Phil Dees recommends it.
Yeah, most people. I'm not sure if there's anybody that's just like fucking a stan, like fucking A24. Everything they put out is fucking Kino, bro. I love that. What was that movie with? It had fucking Evan Rachel Wood in it, and it's like fucking somebody else was in it. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be fucking great. It's gonna be Kino, big Dig good Kino shit, and it's like it was just so fucking like generic and
Low
fucking,
T.
but it very forgettable.
Yeah,
It's like any other movie.
I got some A24 Kino from last what do you call it, Black Friday, still sitting around, called The Green Knight. I haven't watched yet.
Hell yes, I have that to watch too.
My first A24 Kino experience was going to see the movie Spring Breakers in the theater 3 times.
Chatting Tatum over here, Chatting Tatum.
And like I remember the best part, my favorite part of Spring Breakers is the Britney Spears montage. And the last time I saw it at a I think that movie came out like 2015. The last time I seen it was the first time I saw it was like a regular movie theater, and the second 2 times I saw it, or I should say the second and third time I seen it was like a second run theaters, and the last time like it was actually a film print still in like 2015 or whatever year that movie came out, and it was like my favorite part of the movie, like it didn't break or stop the movie, but like that part of the thing was damaged. Like the sound was fine, but the visual, like it kind of, that thing of like when like film burns in the thing and it kind of starts to like get unstable and wobbly right before it like burns up. It kind of did that. It got real unstable and jittery for a few seconds, and it was like the most freaking Kino, like it was like made it more like acid trippy and weird. And
what if that was like the thing with the fucking what's that movie with Phoebe Cates where everybody would watch that one part? What if it was just the fucking
Gremlins?
projection? The projection guy was just the other one, Fast Times, where she gets out of the pool.
Oh yeah. And the videotape was always like damaged at that point from pausing.
Maybe all the fucking projectionists were just watching that Kino scene. I want to learn how to play that song on piano just so I can do that. Just so all written by an angel herself. That whole thing, and then
I love that movie. That's one of my favorite movies. Which, by the way, we do have to go movie by movie and do the complete directorial works of Harmony Korine at some point.
I am ready.
I feel like Harmony Korine invented like the modern era of Kino that A24 has, like done so well in imitating.
Exactly. Why haven't they got him to do some A24 Kino?
I guess Spring Breakers was the last one. I don't know if Beach Bum was from them or not. I think Beach Bum might have been like from Universal or something, but I could be wrong about that.
I forgot,
But yeah, trying to think. Me personally, I don't think anything this summer movie going season. I still think the movie of the summer and the year still is probably Morbius with my boy Jared Leto.
What a king! Fucking Morbin time.
It's Morbin time. Yeah,
we've all
Morbin
seen
time.
it. We've all seen the fucking footage that they put in the movie. Fucking,
where he looks up and his eyes are white and he says it's Morbin time. Yeah, that was my favorite part.
What a weird fucking world we live in.
I know. What's funny is I get to ride that whole wave of Kino and meme shit with Morbius. And everybody's just like, oh, it's so funny. Or they're like, oh, you're being so obnoxious. You won't let this shit die. And I'm just like, but I'm like the one guy in the world who legitimately, unironically, like really love the movie. So like it's fun for me because I get to just ride it forever.
Dog. I haven't seen it, yeah.
Long after people have blown their loads and, forgotten about Thor, Love and Thunder, or whatever the hell it is, like Morbius will still remain.
If you watch Morbius as you watch it as like a movie where Jared Leto, how do you pronounce his name? Is it Leto?
I think it's Leto, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
All right, basically you watch the movie as basically this is what happened when he took fucking his entire cult, fucking held them hostage, made them make this movie. Because if you remember right, people were talking about like fucking, is this movie even like written? Like, what was the weird thing people were talking about just a couple months before, like the beginning of the year? They were talking about like fucking they've shown a couple scenes, but like we don't know if it's like fucking completely shot or completely written. There was something weird going on.
With Morbius.
Yeah, there was something weird.
I know when they did like the last like re-release of it in theaters, did you see that video of like some woman was like doing the camera or the cell phone and he's like sitting there reading a script and she's like, what are you reading? He's like, oh, nothing. He tries to put it away and she like grabs it out of his hands and the script says Morbius 2, it's Morbin time. He actually made a video. Sony had him make that video to promote the re-release into theaters.
Oh my god, fucking. So basically, they're jumping in on like. So people are memeing it because they think it's stupid and a bad movie, and they're jumping in on that. Like, let's capitalize.
Yeah, that's exactly. Well, what's funny too is first of all, when they did the re-release, which it still was like playing in second-run theaters or whatever, and like people don't really know this, but there's a lot of movies that get put in the theaters again. Like Marvel does it all the time. Like Black Panther actually came out. There was some like box office mark, like Black Panther was trying to cross 700 million US or something. I literally saw them put it in the theaters 4 times. The second Venom movie came back into theaters as well. So like Sony's done this themselves. Like they do it pretty much all their superhero movies, and they got Spider-Man. They got an extended cut coming out like this fall, so this September or something, and it's like 9 months after it came out on video. But so like they put Morbius back in on 1,000 theaters, and they had Leto shoot that meme video and a couple other things. And like, by the way, if you've never seen the marketing, it's on YouTube, Zach. But Jared Leto does like a world tour where he shows up in his like woman's like underwear and or like his like fur coats and shit to promote Morbius like around the world. He like goes around, and there's one where he like, I don't know who he designed these shirts or what, but he unboxes all the like they had some weird limited edition Morbius merchandise website, and he like unboxes it and gives his opinions on it, and like it's pretty much like none of it looks like it's actually from the movie. Like it's just all these t-shirts that say Morbius on it and has this like pair of like red lipstick lips on it, and I'm like, what does this have to do with anything with Morbius? But like before the movie even came out, like Jared Leto was memeing the audience, and like people were so stupid to like whatever. So when they put it back in the theaters, they put it only in 1,000 theaters, which is like, I don't even know if that's considered even a wide release nowadays. But they put it, quote unquote, and people online were going, like the actual like Marvel fans, like the uptight whatever Avengers fans or who are there, they're like, these idiots Sony, they make garbage films and they're losing money putting this back in theaters. I'm like, it costs, like, they had no, like, other than getting Jared Leto to make a meme video, it cost them $0.00. They just had to ask the theaters, like, play the movie for another weekend, like, and all these people were, like, when it came out and it only made, like, an extra, I don't know what it was, 400,000 that weekend or something, people were like, look at them, they failed, they will never touch the Marvel cinema. And just, like, this was a movie that was, like, never, like, taken seriously by the people who released it from the get-go. Like, what did you really accomplish here by shitting on this movie?
People are really excited for things to fail, though. Like,
yeah, it's weird. Like Rob Zombie, The Munsters. Like, holy shit. Like, I actually want to see that. Like, I'm the one asshole who wants to see the movie because I loved watching The Munsters as a kid. So I'm like, yeah, I'll watch it. And then they're like, oh, it's going to be on Netflix. I'm like, well, even better. Just watch it whenever it comes on. People are like, oh, it's so... It offends me that, I'm sitting here watching these Marvel movies and somebody somewhere in Singapore is going to be watching The Munsters. And it's just like, why do you give a shit? Who cares?
Find something, even if they like the movies, they continue to go to it. They find something to hate about it. Like fucking too woke. Too woke is one.
Everything's too woke now.
Exactly. We need to make things fucking. It's weird how language just changes too. Remember when woke meant that you thought like fucking Bush did 9/11 and shit like that.
Right. Like conspiracy,
stay woke,
yeah.
Like conspiracy stuff. Yeah, really weird. The way we're always changing. Fucking we're chameleons over here, adapting to our environments.
We're like the newt that jumped out of the water pitcher in Matilda.
Exactly, metaphorical.
I'm watching the shaky ass VHS camera behind the scenes shot by Mara Wilson for. They have it as a special feature on the DVD.
That's always fun when they... I don't know if I have that on my Blu-ray or not. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like, what was the other movie that did the fucking Halloween 5? Terrible movie. The movie she made, Danielle Harris.
When she was like 10, yeah. You ever see like the behind the scenes like crew like party shit of like them at the hotel from like Halloween? I don't know if it's Halloween 4 or 5. I thought it was 5, where she has the mask on and they give her like a knife and she's like pretending to stab the people, and like one guy she's pretending to stab him in the crotch.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
it's hilarious.
Like, they should. That would have been a better movie. That's what we wanted. That's what Part 4 promised.
Well, they teased and they didn't deliver. They never delivered. Like, I feel like horror things. Like, remember, it was supposed to be like Corey Feldman was going to become a killer in Friday the 13th, and he never did.
That's how you could tell they just fucking. We look back at these fondly, and it's like fucking. They knew that they were just recycling the same movie every time. They were trying to find outs all the time. Like, is there something we can do that we can introduce to fucking change it up next time? And it's just like, nope. Yeah. Fucking guy in a mask. When they did try to change it up, people hated it too much.
They hated it too much. They did. They fucking did. I was always like of the mind of like, well, you know, these movies are such a formula. Like, you're just supposed to watch these cardboard characters get killed off, and the movie did do that technically. So I never minded it personally.
Well,
I think that would actually be like a good trilogy if they made like a trilogy of Jason movies where it was always a fake Jason.
Yeah.
What is it? Scooby Doo meets Jason Voorhees. They could do that.
Fucking Netflix could be hiring what's his name to make a whole new series of fucking whodunits every year where it's just, who's playing Jason this time. Fucking,
exactly.
He's got Knives Out competing with the Friday the 13th series.
Nah, like you know how Netflix always shoots themselves in like the foot. Like they waited. I think it was like Nope. I can't remember. It was either Nope or Thor. Like one of like the big summer movies came out, and Netflix is like, we have our biggest movie we've ever made, $200 million, The Gray Man, starring Chris Evans and Ryan Gosling, and it's coming out Friday, the day that like one of the biggest movies of the summer come out. I'm just like, why would you do that? Why not release it on a weekend where nothing's coming out? You know what I mean?
That reminds me, all the people that were doing the whole go woke, go broke thing. I remember when Black Panther came out, I was like, this is gonna completely just like shut those guys up, right? They're gonna realize now, like, oh, there is a reason why they do it. It does sell very well. Like, but it was weird how it just kind of like it kind of changed based on what did well and what didn't. Like, if it did well, it was despite the fact that it was really weird.
Well, there's like a weird flip side to get woke, go broke, because like you have like the one side that's always like get woke, go broke, and they say every like flop movie flop because it was too woke. But then you have also like the other side of it where it's like if the movie flops, then the other side is just like, well, the movie flopped because everybody was either too racist or too sexist to go see it.
Exactly. Oh, there's always the people that are put like fucking. We don't have to just assume everything about these movies. Sometimes it's just
just a movie is shitty and nobody wants to go see it. You know what I mean?
Sometimes it's just like fucking a new Ghostbusters movie that doesn't have Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah.
All these people that I already know and like. They're not in the Ghostbusters movie, which is about people I like, and they're not the people I like aren't in it. I don't want to watch this.
Yeah, like that Ghostbusters movie was so disappointing to me. Like, I'm not a fan of remaking classic movies anyway, but I remember seeing the posters which were just some boring posters of like, you know how they do like they weren't even posters I saw. They're like banners of just like the women's faces. And I was just kind of like, well, this will be like, you know, it'll be lame because it won't be the old guys, but I guess they're too old to make a movie. And then, like, once the first trailer came out and I saw how bad, like, how Saturday morning cartoon the CGI ghost looked in the Ghostbusters. We're talking about the women's Ghostbusters, right, Zach? That's what you're talking about?
Yeah,
the women's Ghostbusters. When I saw that first trailer, I was like, fuck this. And I remember I waited. It was like out on video for like a year, and I rented it from Netflix, watched the Blu-ray. And it was like a chore to get through because it was like the most shitty, cheap studio movie you could possibly make. Like,
what sucks too is all the controversy kind of worked for it because I honestly had no desire to watch that, and I watched it just because it's like I guess I have to watch it and kind of see if people are being too fucking pussy and crybaby about fucking an all-female Ghostbusters, or if it's really bad. Like I had to watch it just because you had to put your stamp on it because of all the controversy, and it's just like it's just kind of it's 2 hours fucking long.
It's like way too long. it's like basically the same plot as Ghostbusters, but it's like a spoof. Whereas like you watch the original Ghostbusters, like it seems like you're watching like a real movie. You watch the 2016 Ghostbusters or whatever year it was, and it's like you're watching like a SNL skit of Ghostbusters.
They tricked us into watching the bad movie. What if it was all planned from the beginning? It was all fucking 311 Bush shit.
And then they were like, I don't know if you remember, but like they were like, I don't know if it was like while they were making or right before it came out, like they were talking all this shit online. Like, oh yeah, look at us, we're ruining your childhood, boo-hoo, and all this shit. I'm just like, you're just making a lousy ass movie. That's all you're making. Like, it's just like, I remember when the guy who made Terminator Dark Fate was like, he was talking about like the new female action hero they had in that movie. And they're like, I forget what he said, but he was like, he said something like if you're insecure at all, this female character will scare the fuck out of you. Or he said, if you're a misogynist, this character will scare the fuck out of you. And I'm like, dude, it's just some random girl nobody's heard of, like, who weighs like 90 pounds wearing a wife beater t-shirt. It's like nobody's really looking at a misogynist or whatever. Like, this is just like a no-name cheap ass movie. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Arnold Schwarzenegger plays the grandpa Terminator who like literally sits on a fucking rocking chair on the porch.
Oh, yeah.
And pets a dog, and you have the Terminator on the porch petting a dog, and you can't figure out why people don't give a shit about this movie.
The fucking everybody wants to see Arnold though. Fucking
Yeah.
doesn't matter he's old. Doesn't matter he's old. We want to see him.
Yeah,
still.
just put, you know, it's like, I get it. Like, you know, if he can't take his shirt off and do the Mr. Olympia pose.
Basically,
anymore,
I'm telling everybody that it is the woman. We don't want to see no fucking woman in our movies. Get him out. No,
get him out.
See, I'm trying to play devil's advocate. I didn't even have to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I feel like back in the day when, not to get on a tangent here because we need to wrap it up, but like I feel back in the day when you just like marketed the movie as like, oh, get your popcorn ready. You're gonna, like, nobody was caring, like bitching and moaning about Aliens or Terminator 2 or anything. Like, if you just make a movie that the trailer looks awesome, like, you know, but let's be honest, like, you go to see the trailers of these movies and it's just shit CGI wall to wall, and you're just like, am I really going to pay $16 to go watch somebody chase around a live action cartoon character? It's like, fuck that.
I've noticed too that because people are always looking out for like the politics in the movie, they're way more sensitive about it.
Yeah.
Whereas like nowadays, like fucking, like there's always like kind of like, you know, hints at things going on in the real world through all the movies, but we just kind of take advantage because it's like we didn't grow up, you know, around that time. We didn't notice them, and it was just like fucking. But now when we notice them, it's like fucking they expect that like we're not supposed to like really people get too sensitive to that now.
I will say the one exception to that is like I'm pretty sick of Disney shit. Like anything Disney, Marvel, Lucasfilm, it's all the same shit. And it's like, they always, like, take whatever character that you know and love and replace it with just some boring-ass female character. And, like, they try to play this thing of, like, oh, we're so progressive. If you don't like it, you know, you're going to be left behind and you won't enjoy this movie. And we're all having all this fun with all these strong female characters. But if you look at, like, their casting strategy, they just always replace, like, the well-known, well-paid actor with some cheap, unknown, like, person. You know what I mean?
They're really doing it because it's like we can hire a no-name guy.
Yeah,
we can hire a no-name.
They're like, I'm sorry, I just screamed. They're like, we're gonna pay Luke Skywalker to come for 3 days, and then we're gonna get this girl who played a corpse on a TV show to be the main character, and it's like. And then you're going to pat yourself on the back for it. And it's like, no, you just hired a cheap actor. That's all you did. Like, you know.
They're still just doing a capitalism, but they think that because it works in their favor and it makes them look nice.
Yeah. They're like, look how nice we are. And then what's funny is, like, I don't know if you've seen all these news stories, like all the, like the visual effects artists come out how much they hate Marvel, they hate Disney because they don't pay them enough, and they always want revisions and reshoots to their CGI, and like everybody's stressed out like Marvel's the worst company to work for and all this shit. And I'm like, this is the same company that will tell you like Wakanda forever and we're all about including everybody. It's like, Do you not realize that, like, you know, like, the people that work at these companies most of the time, like, they are minority people from overseas and shit, and, like, you're just fucking them over left and right to make your progressive movie how you love all like, peoples of every size, color, creed, whatever. Like, it's totally, like, a capitalistic, like, fucking, like, fuck job in the back, and then out front, it's, like, the we love the world message to the film.
Exactly.
So weird.
They fucking yeah. We could all sit around try to figure out these things. We all have it all figured out because we're all fucking Kino-pilled. We're all 8,000 IQ. But the fucking all the other people, we just gotta fucking wait for them to catch up.
Yeah, they just need to.
They need to get woke on communism.
You need to get woke on Danny DeVito Kino is what you need to do.
They do. Kino, Danny DeVito.
You know that meme where they show two movies posters and they said the kids had their fun, now it's the real men's turn?
Yeah.
That's what we need to do. We need to say, like, for the kids one, said the kids have had their fun. We need to show, like, Jordan Peele's Nope, and then, like, let the real men have their turn now, and then we show the poster for Matilda.
Hell yeah. I was at Walmart earlier, or like a day or two ago, and I saw some weird kids movie on DVD that was called like it was like a character. It looked like some fucking like some troll doll like type of character, and it was like I'll use the name JoJo as a fill-in. It said JoJo's Film Collection or something like that. And so it was about like, oh yeah, this is like fucking JoJo, the character of the movie. She's showing off her movie collection, like teaching kids like you know, like collecting things. It's cool and stuff like that. And I'm just like, I wanted to take a picture of it, be like, finally a movie for us.
Finally.
Fucking the Kino heads in the audience. I wish I had taken a picture because I don't remember what it was called.
The key. I wonder. I'm gonna look this up right now. Somebody's got to have a fucking tattoo that says Kinophile. Come on, search.
What if somebody could reincorporate it, use it as a way to basically signal and dog whistle that they're into children, that are a pedophile? I'm a Kinophile.
No, nothing comes up.
Fucking, you think people who are fans of Geppetto from Pinocchio call themselves Geppetto-philes?
Oh my god, speaking of terrible CGI, have you seen the trailer for the new Pinocchio?
I haven't.
Oh, it's so bad. So bad. And it cast the one and only Tom Hanks in the titular role as Geppetto.
We did. We were talking about fucking. I got it confused. I was like, fucking. Isn't I've heard rumors that fucking our boy the Weasel is in the new Tom Hanks movie, but I was confusing it with another Pinocchio movie.
I actually want to buy that, but apparently it's such a cheap thing. The Pauly Shore Pinocchio. It's such a cheap thing. You can only get it on DVD or like digital. There's no Blu-ray.
Fucking. How do they overlook so? No 4K even.
No 4K even. Why no 4K? Alright.
Man, what a shame.
I'm looking at this awesome meme, and it's comparing the Virgin Letterbox user to the I'll Just Remember It Chad. The Virgin Letterbox user says, can't wait to get home so I can log in and rate that film. I hope this review gets some likes. I think I'll give that film 4.5 stars, but I won't post a review. I thought it was a compelling tour de force, but the lead actress was often static and it dragged in the third act. Is there a distinction between quality and enjoyment? How should that influence my review? I gave that last film 3 stars, but I think I like this more, but I don't think it's 3.5 stars. Maybe I should edit my last review? I can't believe Sean Baker is on Letterboxd. Maybe he'll see my review of 4-letter words from the film for year 2000. And the best one, the last one from the Virgin Letterboxd user. My wife wants to watch an A24 film, but according to her boyfriend's profile, they've already seen most of them. Which should I pick? Now, there's less here under the I'll Just Remember It Chad, but yeah, his things are better. Yeah, I think I saw some of that director's stuff. I like that movie. What was the name of that movie? Is that the one with Stanley Tucci? I heard they're doing another Roadhouse. I thought that movie was okay. That movie was on at the bar I was at last week. It was good. I thought that movie was boring. And last but not least, Godzilla vs. Kong was crazy. LMAO.
Do you see the fucking ironic humor? This is what our boy Tom Green created.
Exactly.
Anytime I laugh at shit like this, I kind of do every once in a while. Just picture him throwing a pig down a hill and just singing, "I'm gonna throw the piggy down the hill" over and over again. Amazing.
All right, I guess that's the best place to leave it, don't you think so, Zach? The end of summer.
I literally forgot we were even recording a podcast at all.
Okay.
I thought we're just hanging out, fucking talking about good time. I literally forgot that we were still recording.
We never signed up. We just kept going off on tangents.
That's funny.
But yeah, I know we went deep in the woods on a lot of weird shit on this episode, but what can you do? It's the end of summer. Like, what is it, a whole, 73 days till the next Marvel movie? How will we last, Zach?
Exactly. And how could you expect us to not go off on tangents when we are watching a movie with fucking Kino royalty himself, Benjamin Shapiro.
The movie that influenced the creation of the future greatest movie studio in all of Hollywood.
Oh yes. we need the fucking Elvira Shapiro knockoff Shapiro. Shapiro. He comes out with Stacy titties out, fucking black lipstick. He basically just looks like his sister with a wig on.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, people.
Does she talk fast still?
People were talking about fucking his sister, so Stacy. It's like I remember at first I was like, I kind of just see Ben Shapiro with a wig on. She looks too much like him. But I'd still fuck Ben Shapiro with a wig on. We all know that.
Even without a wig.
Exactly.
He's too irresistible at this point. All right, so that's it. What a weird movie pick to get extra terrible on.
Exactly.
The worst episode ever of the movie graveyard.
You gonna use some of them scissors? You gonna fucking edit some of that shit? You just leave it?
Oh no, none of it.
Fucking hell yeah. That's what the king would do.
He would. So yeah, so that's it, everybody. It's all just content, right, for our streaming service?
Content.
It's all just content from this point. There is no cinema. There is no TV. There's just content.
Exactly.
All right, so that's it. I don't think we can top that. We can't get any higher. We can't get any lower. The conclusion of Danny DeVito Kino. For now. All right, we'll catch you again next time right here in the movie graveyard.
Dog.
You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows, visit electronicmediacollective.com.